What's up with you? What's up with you, bro? We about to get into it. Look, check it out. Cardi B, the other people, there's rumors that, I'm not going to do that. I tried to find something. There's somebody said Rihanna has come out in support. I don't see that. And 50 Cent, don't see anything on that. And Kendrick Lamar, I didn't see anything. So people were saying it when I went to research the person. It was nothing there. What I'm saying, it was, they may mention something about the case, but no, they were not openly supporting the case and pledging money to the family. Now we know Cardi B is a very wealthy woman. This might have something to do with Charleston White, because you get the impression he was kicked. He was told that they didn't need him anymore, and people are saying that he was, and I saw what he's went and done with the watermelon felon T-shirts. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get it, but it's possible. It's possible. I don't know. I don't have any confirmation. It's possible a rich celebrity has entered the appellate part, and they're going to take it from here as possible. Well, I know Cardi B is openly. She came out public. Isn't that something? A female. Isn't that something? All of these black men and all of these people. Cardi B is openly said that she is disappointed. She didn't think justice was served. She thinks she thinks he's innocent, and she needs to have another trial. Now, this is her saying that, right? There's, and people are, you're going to have online trolls. They're just making up stuff. They're deliberately trying to stir. See, this is my whole point. We have the world's richest man right now, a first trillionaire, Elon Musk. He's openly supports Derek Chauvin. He's not hiding anything. He's not ashamed of it. He supports Derek Chauvin. Ben Shapiro, he's made a podcast. He's made several videos in support of Derek Chauvin. We know about the Candace Owens, right? And the biggest lie, she milked every drop with her documentary, claiming that this. So basically, they were on the side of Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin is a convicted criminal. He's convicted of his crimes, but these people openly support him. They openly support him, no problem at all. And a lot of blacks, they really can't come out because of fear. But isn't that something I'm saying? It's the same country, but the blacks, and what would they be doing? They're doing no more than what Elon Musk and Ben Shapiro's doing, right? Right? Cardi B, she's willing to go out there, and we know she's very wealthy. I mean, that's her business. I don't know her, how she would handle it, but I'm sure if she wanted to contribute some money for something for him, I'm sure it can be arranged legally where it's arranged. So, but she's getting online. She's getting harassed hard. Hard. She's being called racist. She's been called, just being attacked, saying, "How could you support him? Look at black people. Y'all support a guy like this. Look at black people. You guys, how dare you? Where's your humanity? What kind of person are you? How dare you support this guy?" Right? And that's being said. But when you take a look, that's what Elon Musk is doing. That's what Ben Shapiro is doing. And guess what? They got the ear of the president. They actually have they have access to the president, and they have these conversations with him falling out. For all I know, he's already decided to give Derek Chauvin a pardon. He's just trying to find, they're testing the waters, because we see Ben did a podcast. Now Elon comes out. They're testing the water. They're trying to see what the public thinks. They're trying to see how the public feels. And then it looks like to me they're going to let Derek Chauvin out. But to even suggest Carmelo Anthony should get a fair trial, and within his trial, he has appellate rights, to even suggest that constitutes you're being racist or you're some kind of way have problem with the Mello family. I mean, with the Metcalf family. Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from? And what I'm saying, this is the hypocrisy. We're watching it. We're standing here looking at it happen right in front of us. Right as we. What's going on with my stream, bro? They haven't given me my. Like the stream, brother. I don't see my time code. Am I live? Let me see. Let me come over here. Normally it gives me a time code. Let me see. Yeah, and all Cardi B has done, and I'm sure they said behind the scenes, a lot of them don't want to come out because they'll be harassed. They'll be called names, and they make their money. This is how they make their money. You look at Cardi B. She's an entertainer. She makes. She's had a commercial. She had a McDonald's commercial. I just saw in another commercial. And she's brave enough to come out and say, I disagree with that verdict. And I think this guy deserves a fair trial. That's to her. And she's being harassed. She's being attacked. She's being called names. You look at a guy like Elon, he's the richest man in the world, with a trillionaire. He doesn't hide any of this stuff. He proudly, openly supports Derek Chauvin. He just openly supports him, say he should be set free. He knows exactly what he's done. And you don't see him being burdened with the shaming or the name calling that you see black people being burdened with. You don't see it. You don't see it. And it's amazing to me how people can be so hypocritical. And when blacks, all they want to do is have fair treatment. That's a problem. Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? You don't think Carmelo has a right to appeal the verdict? You got the NAACP. I'm looking at Carmelo. You got two people that I don't see any. You show me somebody else. I'm not going. Somebody has a Rihanna and a 50 Cent. I looked them up on the Google. They haven't done anything that would make you think that they openly support Carmelo. And then they would be risking her clothing. She'd be risking everything doing that. Right. But in the middle of that, we got Elon Musk. He doesn't care about anybody, just like he told Don Lemon. Did you see that? Do you remember that interview he had with Don Lemon? And he told Don Lemon, the only reason I'm even talking to you is because you work for me. And Don Lemon called himself giving him a gotcha question, right? And Elon said, I don't have to do any of that. He said, I don't have to watch what I say. I don't have to apologize. He said, I don't have to do any of that. I wouldn't even be talking to you if you didn't work for me. But no, I don't regret or have. Yeah. And I said, look at that, man. I said, look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk. I said, that's how a man thinks. That's how a man lives. Look at Elon Musk. No, I'm serious. Look at him. And he supports Derek Chauvin. He ain't ashamed of that. He goes everywhere. He's not ashamed of that. He's proud of that. Carmelo Anthony's basically by himself. He's got Cardi B. All of these rich basketball, these rich, they're not going to support it. You know why? Because see, they're not men in the way they should be men. They're not. They want to keep that Mercedes, man. They want to keep their fancy cars. They want to keep their, and they're afraid of the criticism. And the country is unfair. It's going to unfairly criticize them when they're not doing anything that Elon and Ben Shapiro are not doing it. And the difference is this: Cardi doesn't have access to the president. Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk, they have access to the president. And he's thinking about pardoning Derek Chauvin. And we're all the people with the names and the suggestions that some kind of way black people were supporting a murderer. Well, isn't that what Elon Musk is doing? Isn't that what the world richest man now, first trillionaire, isn't he openly supporting a man who was convicted of a crime? Is he not? And you see what I'm saying? You see how they paint black people into this box where they can't have equal treatment. They don't have rights. They don't have the right to appeal a conviction. They're not allowed to do that. Yeah, there you go. He says Chauvin was innocent. So what about Carmelo? What about Carmelo? No, he's guilty, right? So why even have a trial? Why even have a trial? Why even have a trial, though? You see what I'm saying? We're so racially polarized that we don't even make sense now. Chauvin was innocent, and we had years of Chauvin, and we had Candace Owens and the greatest lie ever told, and BLM, and he died of a drug overdose, and free Chauvin, Derek Chauvin. And you got Elon Musk openly saying this man's innocent, openly saying it. This Carmelo trial just happened. The verdict's about 5 days old, and black people are being harassed all over online. They're being harassed for what? For doing the same thing Elon Musk is doing. The same thing Elon Musk. No, I'm just saying you can disagree. I can disagree with Elon Musk, but who's harassing him? And we got to admit he's a different guy, because like I said, I don't particularly care for Don Lemon, but he told Don Lemon to his face, I guess Don Lemon doesn't know what a man is. I guess Don Lemon thought he was talking. He didn't realize who he was talking to. Elon told him, what? Elon said, I ain't got to change nothing. He said, I say anything I want to say. I don't have to back on nothing I do. And look, I don't agree with Elon Musk, but I got to say that, hey, that's the way a man should be. That's the way a man should be. We got Cardi B, she's supporting him. Now she's openly supporting. You brought up 50 Cent and Rick Ross, all of these gangsters and all of these thugs and all of these black tough guys. They're not going to support him openly. Nah, because there would be a backlash. That would be a backlash. It would mess with their side hustles, where they're selling shampoo and stuff, and not just them, all of them, the whole hip hop community. And they're not going to do that. He's got the NAACP. God, bro, he's done. The NAACP and Cardi B. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, I don't know. Possibly people, and I'm saying there's a fear out there, so possibly people are helping with his appeal, possibly the family. I don't know. Possibly someone wealthy has given the family money, right? So, I just noticed the hypocrisy. Why people have a problem when you say free Carmelo Anthony, but they don't have a problem when you say free Derek Chauvin. And that's the way the country has been recreated, that you can do exact same thing. Yeah, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of it. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? Isn't that nuts? Now, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I don't know what's going on. Let me see something. Let me check this out. Let me go in here. Okay. The hypocrisy that we live under, it's like blacks. When you talk about slavery, a black person was property. Black person didn't have rights. And I've been told several times, hey, that was legal. So, what are you complaining about? Now it's illegal, but it was legal at the time, But basically, you didn't have any rights. And you see the same thing now, because when you say, well, man, he's going to appeal the sentence, man, you support a murderer. Who supports a murderer? Well, you do. And it's like, bro, Elon Musk, what is he doing? I haven't heard you say anything about Elon Musk. Not a word. What is Ben Shapiro doing? What is Ben Shapiro doing? What have they been doing? What did Candace Owens do? What have they been doing? What have they been doing? This case is four days old, and the only one who's and I don't blame her. The only one who's brave enough to express herself that she felt like that was injustice is Cardi B and the NAACP. And Derek Chauvin's got Elon Musk on his side. He's got Ben Shapiro. Okay, we can agree about Ben. He's irrelevant, right? But Elon Musk, man, he talks to the goddamn president. He doesn't have to go through anybody. He don't have to bypass. He just pick up the phone. Or he can fly to Washington. He'll be in the office and say, hey, we need to free this Derek Chauvin guy. You think it's time? Simple as that. And the people who believe that Derek Chauvin is guilty, right, of his crime, what about them? Do they matter? What about the family? What about the George Floyd, his family? What about them? Huh? Do they matter? Let me get these guys out of here. Bro, you nothing. Might have put my subscriber mode back on, man. What about them? Do they matter? They no longer matter. They don't matter. And this is the Negro. The Negro is always taught. He's like a child, no matter his age. He's always taught how to think and how to behave. Always how to think, how to behave. You know what I mean? Always. Let me get this out. There we go. Take care of you. And we talk about religion. They bring up, what about your faith and Christianity? Well, do we practice? Are black people the only people who are supposed to practice the tenets of Christianity? And it doesn't matter for others don't have. Elon said he don't have to. Elon said he doesn't have to adhere to anything. He said, "No, I don't." He ain't worried about being sued. He ain't been worried. He's not worried about nothing. Elon's also been sued. Well, if you want to get into that, we're not really talking about him, but I'm just saying he does have a checkered history. But it's interesting. It's like when a black man wants to be a man. When a black man wants to be a man, that's not accepted. That just simply won't be accepted by him. He must at all times be on bended knee and in prayer. And I'm looking at this. What's all the big outrage? Okay, the guy was convicted. He has appellate rights. Cardi B, she's a rapper. She thinks he's innocent. Why you guys attacking Cardi B? Elon Musk, he openly supports Derek Chauvin. Openly supports Derek Chauvin. But you don't want to talk about that. You don't even want to mention that. All you want to talk about is the black community and you guys supporting the murderer and the black community. How could you do this? Bro, look at Elon Musk. Look at Elon. What is he doing? What is he doing? Is Elon a part of crime culture? And you see, when you show them how, when you make these bigots look in the mirror, this is what you get. When you make them look in the mirror, because they don't realize what they're doing. And yeah, and I see that, and that's what I'm saying. And Charleston White, it looks like I don't know if he's done it yet. Look like he's on his way to become an advocate against Carmelo Anthony. Now, we agree with the system. The system says he's guilty. Okay. He has a right to appeal. And other celebrities, and we know it won't be many. We know that. They're scared they're gonna lose their money. But we see that you look at a Cardi B. I don't understand all the harassment. You can disagree with it, like, hey, I disagree with that, Cardi. I think he's guilty. You could say that, right? You can't do that. No, she's been called racist. She's been accused of hating white people. This is nuts, so man. It's like, what? What is she doing that Elon Musk isn't doing? What? You tell me. What's the difference? Look at that. Look at all these. Derek Chauvin deserves a pardon. Okay, you believe that. There are people who disagree with that. How come it's okay for you to say that, but if you say that about Carmelo Anthony, you guys get mad? Why is that? Why did you get upset when? What's the difference? Look at it. Fentanyl Floyd. You see that? A man still was smothered. Fentanyl Floyd. It's both sides. You guys on both sides. You claim that you're about fairness, but clearly you're not. You don't want fairness. You want to be able to make fun of Negroes and laugh about it, and they can't retaliate. They can't do anything about it. Isn't that something? Look at that. He said George Floyd held a gun. What do they got to do with him being smothered in the middle of the street? Huh? What do they got to do with him being smothered in the middle of the street? What do they got to do with him? You said George Floyd committed crimes. First of all, we're not talking about him, but since you brought him up, what does it have to do with him being smothered? Does it say if you commit a crime, you're gonna be smothered in the middle of the street? Does it say that? He died. I'm sure you believe that. How he died of a drug overdose because he swallowed a bunch of fat. He had a heart attack, bro. That's not what the jury, that's not what the trial brought out. They brought out proof that it was from he was smothered. Yeah, and it's like, just because if you don't agree with the trial, I agree that we have to accept the jury. We have to accept that. But we saw the same thing with O.J. Simpson. And it's like, it's a trial. You think he's guilty. I think he's not. What's the big deal? We saw the trial. Oh, well, you got to think the way I think. Why? Uh-oh. Here we go. You got to think the way I think. Why? Because I'm white and I say so. So you can't be like an Elon Musk, right? And say, hey, I think Derek Chauvin is innocent and I support him. That's a man, right? That's a free thinking man. And somebody come up, they say, well, that's his opinion, man. But if you black and you say, I think Carmelo Anthony is innocent, free him. Man, you racist, man. You must hate white people. It's like, what? Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that from? It's like, where are you getting that from? You see what I'm saying? This is what you got to deal with. Now, Cardi B has come out openly. She supports Carmelo Anthony. Maybe, I don't know. This probably why Charleston White was taken away, because he's going to fund it. He's got plenty of money. She's got plenty of money. So she may back him. They're saying that he's went into the second phase, and he went in as he was poor or whatever, like a homeless person or whatever. So okay. Hold up. All right, now check this out. Hold up. Check it out right here. So is Derek Chauvin. Right? Am I saying something wrong? Right? So is Derek Chauvin. But no, Derek Chauvin's innocent. Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin's innocent. He was railroaded. The judge, the jury, they wanted to BLM wanted to send a signal. Isn't that what we hear? Isn't that what we've been hearing for years? It's irrelevant that he took a man's life. That don't matter. The guy was on drugs. Didn't they just have a moment of silence? They just had a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin, a convicted. The man's in jail. They had a moment. The Republican Minnesota Party, the Republican Party in Minnesota had a moment of silence for Derek Chauvin, a man who violated his oath, betrayed the people, took a man's life. And if you black and you don't agree, if you don't immediately say, well, that was he's a political prisoner, right? And I heard the whole thing. Somehow you have some type of underlying resentment. Where are you getting that from? Cardi B is only one, and you guys can say what you want. I don't care what they said. 50. I knew 50 Cent. I knew it was a lot. Let me tell you, somebody made a post, and they put Cardi, they put Rihanna, they put Kendrick, and they put 50. And when they put 50 on that, I knew that couldn't be true. I said, man, 50 Cent ain't gonna come out for 50 Cent. 50 Cent's not gonna do that. And I don't even think he believes that. That's just not him. So I knew, and I went and looked it up. Man ain't said nothing like that. The only person who's been openly made comments about the case, made comments about the verdict, and has said that she would try to help is Cardi B. And I think I hate, she's so small, Young Miami. So Cardi B and Young Miami. I don't know what she's gonna do, but my problem is, why is all the anger? We got a Elon Musk. He's advocating for Derek Chauvin. So we live in America, right? Why can't we just have a difference of opinion? Why does the difference carry with it all of these shaming tactics and racial slurs? Where are they coming from? In some kind of way, it's an indictment of the black community. The black community, they supporting Carmelo. Well, maybe they think he's innocent. Elon thinks Derek Chauvin's innocent. Maybe they're exercising their rights. Oh, they can't do that though, right? They don't have a right to exercise their rights. They don't have a right. That's wild too, man. When you think about it, it's insane when you think about it. It's insane how they don't understand Let me get this. You know what? Let me put my thing back up. These people don't want to deal with nothing but lies. They get in my chat box. There you go, bro. There you go. And you don't want to hear the truth. I don't even know why you're over here. You don't want to hear the truth. He wants, you know what he wants me to say? He wants me to say Derek Chauvin is Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is the reason Derek Chauvin is in jail. It was politics. It was the politicians. That's why he was innocent. That boy was full of drugs. He swallowed fat. He was full of drugs. That's what they want me to say, right? And Carmelo, he was guilty. The black community know he was guilty. He was guilty. You don't take no knife to no track meet. That was wrong with y'all culture. That was wrong with y'all. That was wrong with y'all. Black fatigue. Black fatigue. I got black fatigue. That's what they want me to say, right? And I won't say that, but they don't like that I won't say it. But that's what they want me to say, which is ridiculous. Like I'm saying, okay, what if you're someone, imagine this. What if you're someone who says both men should stay in jail? Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine someone says, well, they were found guilty. Both men, now the man has a right to appeal, but if he loses his appeal and he does his time, well, imagine someone saying that. Can't say that though, right? You got to want Derek Chauvin to be set free, and you want to get a rope and hang him by a tree. And we're gonna do this, man. We don't normally do it. We're gonna drop the link, man, because I'm trying to figure it out. Look, all of this stuff I seen. I didn't see no Greatest Lie Ever Told, but I do understand that Candace, and that was with Charlie Kirk. They made this film where they was trying to suggest that, and they did it for political reasons, and they were trying to sway the crowd, sway the public in their favor, and mask Derek Chauvin off as a political prisoner. And they convinced a lot of people. And that's the country we live in now, man. It's so racially polarized that you literally don't have a right to your own opinion now. You don't have a right to your thoughts. Like the stream, man. Reach down there and support the platform. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. And this is where we stand, man. When you say free Carmelo Anthony as a black person, you're immediately called a racist. When you say free Derek Chauvin, who's been found guilty in jail, he's not guilty. He's a lot of things, but he's not guilty. How do you think that makes the people who look at a Carmelo Anthony and they feel he's guilty and he went to trial and he's now got to serve, when people suggest he's not, that's troublesome, right? That's troublesome to you that somebody would say that about someone who would do that, right? But you've been doing this to Derek Chauvin. How long have they been walking around dangling Derek Chauvin in the face of the black community, saying that he's innocent, stirring up racial hatred and racial resentment? He's innocent. He died of fentanyl. You see what I'm saying? So what's the difference? What's the difference, huh? And look at you guys. Yeah, keep talking. Carmelo's guilty. Well, according to Texas court system, he is. Who's challenging that? I'm not challenging that. According to the state of Texas, he's guilty. Look at that. I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna clean this up. Where we at? It said at least Derek Chauvin got rid of a piece of trash. Carmelo Anthony deleted a young man that had a chance to be somebody. Okay, and you say that to say what? Derek Chauvin's in prison. Carmelo Anthony's in prison. You don't see this. You see what I'm saying? This is where this stuff is coming from. And when you say racial tensions and our country is divided, you see who's doing it, right? This is coming from the other side. This is not coming from black people. All black people have said is they want the man to have a fair trial. Now he was found guilty. He's in jail. They're appealing his sentence. What's the problem with that? Cardi B is the only one. Nobody else has come out. Cardi B is the only one openly supporting Carmelo Anthony. She's the only one. But Elon Musk, man, I mean, he's got the ear of the president. He basically, people say the election, he was offering people money and stuff. He's got the ear of the president. They throw these things out there to see how the public will accept it. And they're going to free Derek Chauvin. But just like you feel Carmelo Anthony is guilty, imagine if they freed him. When you feel sort of betrayed, what do you think people are going to feel when they free Derek Chauvin? And I know you think I know you think he's innocent. I know, I believe you truly have convinced yourself that this man is innocent. But this is the country we live in, man. You know what, bro? Let me get these guys out of here, man. He says, hasn't Chauvin already been in jail for like a decade for something he couldn't hasn't Chauvin already been in jail for like a decade for something he couldn't have done? Woo, that's something else, man. You know what? And the scary part, you believe that. That's the scary part. You actually believe that. That man is in jail for something he couldn't have done. Floyd was full of drugs and he died because of a drug overdose. And you believe that. And that's sad too, man. I mean, I can't change the way you think, but that's sad that you believe that. Free let Chauvin out and deny Carmelo his appellate rights. What do you, oh, he said you said to what am I believing? What am I believing? No. What am I believing? Then you haven't been listening to me. I've sat here and said, I hope he gets a fair trial. That's what I said. I said, I hope Carmelo gets a fair trial. Now he has the right to appeal. What is the problem? What? No, Sam, show me the problem. The man has a right to appeal. That's what he's doing. Derek Chauvin, he got a fair trial. They want to let him out. They know Derek Chauvin got a fair trial. They want to just let him go because Trump, give him a pardon. Let him out so we can show these Negroes who's boss. Wouldn't you want Elon Musk to be your advocate? Wouldn't you not want Elon Musk out front telling people that you need to be set free? And this is where we are, man. He said, "Go back to Africa." You know what, bro? We try. I'm gonna tell you this to you. We try. We try, but we can't. We can't. Some of the people, they just simply cannot have a conversation. They can't. They just. It's just too much for them. They have so much racism in them that they can't. They can barely type in the chat box. So what we're going to do? Go right ahead. Free. Yeah, freeze pop.
What's up, Platt? Long time no see, brother. How you doing?
What's up with you, bro?
Yeah, man, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why they never had no smoke for Derek Chauvin White?
I don't know. I never did. Oh, so you know what? I have no idea, man. Now that you mentioned that, I never even thought about his family, the family he left
Yeah,
behind. I never even thought about that.
yeah, but she was out of there before they. Soon as he was indicted, she was out of there, bro. They would never say anything. It was almost like he never even had a wife.
What do you mean out of there?
She left. She was gone.
Oh, she
She
divorced
left.
him.
Yeah, she was out,
Oh,
man. Before he even got wait. I mean, as soon as he got arrested, she was out of there. She divorced him. She put the papers in.
oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
I just was wondering, like, I just don't want. They never bring her up.
Mm-hmm.
They never had no smoke for her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I was just, I wanted to get your take on that, like that. They never
Yeah, I
had no
didn't even
smoke
know
for her.
that.
She was like, man,
I didn't know that.
like, how are we supposed to stand by him if his own wife didn't stand by him? But they can stand by him. They don't even know him. So the woman he slept with every night
Well,
didn't stand by him, but everybody else that don't know him stand by him. That don't make sense. Go
well, I
ahead.
don't understand why in America, right? We're supposed to have a Discord. Why Cardi B is being harassed online, and they're and Fox, they say, well, what we need to do is boycott Cardi B and stop this, and it's like, man, wait a minute, what about Elon? Elon's advocating for a man who's been convicted openly, but you want to go after Cardi B? And a lot of people are afraid, so they're not going to say anything. I'm talking to celebrities and stuff. But that's crazy, man. How the double standard, man. Look, this guy sent $2. He says Carmelo Anthony named after the basketball. I don't know. I have no idea. Appreciate the $2 holler, man. And these names, Chris. Okay, we'll call you Chris Hansen. Okay.
Hey,
What's up?
Flat, I got another one for you, bro. And I'm surprised nobody caught on to it. I mean, maybe they did. I just didn't hear I didn't hear the broadcast. But it was unfortunate that Carmelo and Mr. Metcalf caught up in this, man. But they were set up, man. They actually were set up. This was all over a woman, and nobody caught on to it.
What are you talking about? This Carmelo thing?
Yes, this was over
Uh,
a woman.
I haven't heard none of that.
Yep,
None of
yep.
that.
Nobody caught on to it. It was over a woman. The guy who called him over there, Eddie, likes the girl that Carmelo was going out with, and he's supposed to be Carmelo's friend. So I'm thinking like he put the battery in the Metcalf back. He didn't want to do anything to Carmelo, so he put a battery in the Metcalf boy's back
I
because
don't
he
know, man.
called. Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, he didn't go to trial because of that. I mean, the jury heard the evidence and they rendered their judgment. He didn't go to. He had a girlfriend that the other dude was jealous. That stuff they're not going to present any of that. That has nothing really to do with this case.
Well, it actually came up on cross examination when they asked him, well, were you Carmelo's friend? He said no. He said, well, here you go in these pictures right here. He said, no, I'm just acquaintance of him because of his girlfriend. So it actually did come up in the case. But unfortunately, his lawyer didn't, what I mean, he didn't go into it like, well, wait a minute, who are you talking about here? But they didn't go into it, so and what I mean, he didn't harper on it. So here we are. But go ahead, bro.
Nah, man, I'm just talking about Elon, man, and how Elon, let me tell you something. There's a lot about Elon I do not like, but I have to give him credit. Like, and he stood up. Elon's told Don Lemon, he said, well, I don't. He said, I don't have to do none of that. He said, apologize. He said, I don't have to do any of that. None of that. Not me. And he said, I wouldn't even be talking to you if you didn't work for me. And Elon got up and left and he got fired. You know, he's got his YouTube stuff. But I was like, man, a man being a man, what do you know? A man being a man. Now, look in the black community, the only man being a man is Cardi B. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say them dudes should go out here and mess their career. You know, it's black man in America. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm showing you the people who support Carmelo Anthony. That's Cardi B and the NAACP. Meanwhile, Derek Chauvin, who has been convicted in prison, is supported by Elon Musk.
Yeah, but what was Don Lemon supposed to say, man?
Huh?
What you think Don Lemon? I know what I would have said, but what do you believe Don Lemon should have said? Because I know what I would have said to him.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything that is inappropriate, man. You could what would you have said? It's going to be appropriate conversation, right?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have touched him on that. But he's not so. I mean, you know,
use any slurs.
He's not self-made. He's not self-made.
Oh, Elon?
No, he's not self-made.
I don't know what he is. He's the richest. He's a trillionaire.
Off government contracts, which is taxpayers' money.
Okay, he's a trillionaire.
Anybody can get. Look, you can get a hot dog cart in front of the federal building and make a whole bunch of money. What? So
I'm gonna say this again, I'm gonna say this again. I don't agree with a lot of stuff he does. I certainly don't agree with his politics, and I don't agree with. I think he has some racism in him, you know. But I'm saying if you look at him as a entity, a living being, some of the things he does, I do agree with, and I like the way he told Don Lemon off. Men have got to stop being afraid to be men. There ain't nothing wrong with being a man. He told Don Lemon, no, I don't. He said, no, I don't have to apologize or do none of that stuff.
I agree with you in that sense, but what I'm saying is it's easier to be a man when you hopped up on somebody's. Of course, if somebody's been born into something or somebody's giving you something, of course, you say whatever you want. You got the two most powerful men because you said that he got the ear of Donald Trump.
Yes.
And how did Donald Trump get his money? From his daddy. And what his daddy's hopped up off government money.
Okay.
Go around acting like you listen to that. When you hopped up on government money, you hopped up on taxpayer cash.
Yeah, but Freeze Pop, they're rich men, they're very powerful men, and they are who they are. The whole point is that they support well, I don't know about Trump, but I know Elon Musk supports Derek Chauvin, and he's not getting really any backlash for that. And this case is what, 3-4 days old, and they want to bury Cardi B, and that Fox News talking about boycott Cardi B, and I think she had a McDonald's commercial. They talk going after It's like, damn, wait a minute, what is she doing? So wait a minute. So she's just exercising her First Amendment right? That's her opinion. Why does she have to pay anything for it? You don't agree. He is in jail. He does have the right to appeal. You don't agree. Okay. But it's not like she's doing this by herself. Look at Elon Musk openly doing it right now. You got background noise, bro. I don't know what like you on a treadmill or something. Elon Musk is openly doing it, and there's no backlash for what he's doing. And many people, we had to turn the mode off because so many people were in here using profanity and saying the wrong thing, that we had to that's because they were coming in here saying that Carmelo's guilty, which according to Texas he is, but Derek Chauvin's innocent. And it's like, well, no, if in Minnesota, he's innocent. I mean, he's guilty. No, 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 George Floyd. So basically, George Floyd was expendable. So that's what they're saying. Okay, well, he was an expendable. He went to jail, or he was a criminal, or he was on dope or something. None of that was proven. The medical examiner, none of that was proven. And look, she's changed up. Candace Owens, she don't do it now. Oh, I don't know what she's doing now, but I'm saying she made quite a bit of money pushing that. And I think she was doing that with Charlie Kirk. They put that together. There's some kind of way Derek Chauvin was not guilty, even though he had a trial. So she bought people, so-called specialists in, who had looked at the evidence, and that's not a trial. But it was enough to convince the people. They wanted to believe that. They wanted to believe that the man died of a drug overdose, and they presented it out there, and they believed it.
Yeah, don't forget about the fake $20 bill that we never saw either.
Yeah, well, whatever he was doing before, what did it have to do with him? You know what that happened in the middle of the street. And Elon Musk. So I'm just reminding him, as you get upset, and I saw it was the hashtag free Carmelo. As you get upset and you attack the black community, or who's ever doing it, you attack black people, right? Remember, Elon, what is Elon doing? What is Elon doing? What are you doing? Are you saying free Derek Chauvin? And if you're saying that, remember, Derek Chauvin was found guilty. Okay, you don't think he's guilty, but he was found guilty. So are you supporting the murderer? Are you? According to what, Minnesota, he is. Doesn't matter what Elon thinks. According to Minnesota, he's a murderer. Yet you're openly saying free Derek Chauvin. This is crazy, man. And then if a black person says free Carmelo Anthony, immediately, and I'm talking about online, immediately online, it has some racist connotation. Maybe they think just like Elon. Maybe they don't think he got a fair trial. Maybe they don't think, maybe they think like Elon. Huh? Maybe they think like Elon Musk. Maybe Cardi B thinks like Elon Musk. So is something wrong with that? Is something wrong with that? And you see, he says, we watch constant footage of your community attacking innocent people. You mean you talking about people jumping on people? Okay, I don't agree with that. OJ's dead. OJ is dead. He says, yet you still supported, who supported OJ? Let me tell you something, clown, whoever you are. I wasn't fucking with OJ before the trial. OJ didn't fuck with black people like that. You guys don't even, nothing. You didn't even, man, that man he didn't hang out with black, he didn't mess with black people. That man was on Monday Night Football. That man was a white man. That just wasn't OJ. That just wasn't him, man. I don't know nothing about OJ's personal or whatever, I mean, he married his wife or whatever, but I'm saying OJ was not, when you would see celebrities or entertainers, there was a guy, what's his name? It's coming back to me. Was it Lou Rawls? I think it was a guy called Lou Rawls. He used to have a telethon for NAACP, for the Negro colleges. I think it was Lou Rawls. Oh, and the blacks who really had a concern for the community, they would go on that. OJ didn't go on no shit like that, man. OJ Simpson didn't go nowhere near nothing like that. This man in there said y'all supported OJ. Who supported OJ? Who supported OJ? And you support Derek Chauvin. What is Derek Chauvin? What is Derek Chauvin? You support him. You think because you can lie and say he was on fentanyl and all that stuff, that means he's not what he is? He was found guilty. I don't like this OJ thing. He said, I didn't fuck with OJ. Fuck a trial. I didn't need no damn trial. I knew what type of dude he was. I mean, I want the man to be treated fair. That's what he don't think he was found innocent. He used his money. I hate the fact that the man, wound up doing like 9 years, I think, in jail or something like that. And then now he's passed away. But don't say no shit like that. And I can't speak for black people, but I'm gonna tell you, OJ was cool, but he wasn't what you have no idea. You think he was like in the community as a foot soldier. Nah, he wasn't like that. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know he had found him a white woman. I didn't. I know he worked on Monday Night Football for a while. That's about it. He used to play football and he was on Monday Night Football. I never saw him with Lou Rawls, telethon, and you would have all types of people come on there to help raise money for Negro College Fund, NAACP, and various organizations. And, those were the people who were a part of the community. You saying OJ, you got to be out of your mind to even say something like that. And in the meantime, what about Elon Musk? Is he racist? Is Elon racist? Because you say Cardi B is. Can't she be just like Elon? Maybe she's just like Elon and she says, I'm going to have my opinion. Huh? Okay, here we go. Look. You want to come up or not, man? Here you go, because you're going to get blocked. And that's the thing. Why hang out in the chat box, bro? If I'm so low IQ, why don't you come up and show me? Prove yourself, brother. Stand on it. And also, if you think that you can, that Derek Chauvin is innocent, I'd love to hear. And then after you tell me why he's innocent, tell me what's the difference between Carmelo Anthony and why you think he's guilty. And if the court system is capable of making mistakes, as you say with George Floyd, you don't think they can make a mistake in the Carmelo Anthony case? Or do you mean black people just don't matter? Black people they just don't deserve the same treatment. They don't matter. They don't have a right to appeal. And if anybody in the public supports them, they quote unquote hate white people. But Elon Musk can do what he wants, right? Perfectly okay for Elon Musk to do what he's doing. Perfectly okay, not a problem. But don't let someone support Carmelo Anthony. It's the end of the world. And that's how we've devolved, man. We used to be a country where we thought things through. We made connections with each other. We're not even in a country like that anymore. It's growing completely one-sided to the point now a black person can't even have a trial without somebody getting upset about it. All right, bro, you finna get kicked up out of here. Okay, I gave you a chance, bro. Goodbye. And this is the entire point with this stuff. A 6'1", 210 guy isn't a threat. I have no idea what that means. No, I haven't seen the video. The the Austin Metcalf Carmelo Anthony. Nah. Somebody said that's gonna He's going to wind up. That's going to wind up in freedom of information or something like that. So eventually, it's going to show up on Twitter. It's going to show up. Like the stream, man. We got a tale of two Americas, bro. Two Americas. One freed Carmelo. That's racist. Free Derek Chauvin. That's okay. That's his opinion. He got a right to his opinion. Oh, no, hold up. Let me add the rest of it. That's Elon Musk's opinion. Why you guys always bringing up race? Yeah, isn't that how it goes? Isn't that the normal routine? Isn't that, damn, all you guys do is bring up race. That's his opinion. Maybe he just got a different opinion than yours. Free Carmelo. What? What did you say? Bro, and Malcolm X talked about it. Malcolm X said the black man has to be a pretzel. He said that to make it in America. He said you got to be a pretzel. He said don't matter. You go forward, you wrong. You go backwards, you wrong. You go left, you wrong. You go right, you wrong. He said you're always gonna be wrong. It don't matter. It don't matter. All of this stuff that they'll see things equally and stuff. We see that's not happening, man. And you can blame Fox News and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. They churn up a lot of the racism. But yeah, this sort of Elon, and if you think Elon is not, this is Elon's opinion. No, Elon's being told. Elon's being told. And Ben Shapiro, they pushed free Derek Chauvin. In the Overton window, we got to get these black people used to this, and we're going to free. And whites are victims. That's the thing. White people. Elon Musk, a trillionaire, the first trillionaire, and whites are victims. Isn't that something? Victimhood. Richest man ever, but he's a victim. And I see these YouTubers, and I know they're doing it for money, and they push that the white man is a victim stuff. And you know the sad thing, I think it's a sad thing. You guys believe that. That to me, that really just blows you. You say, what? Don't push the victimhood to blacks. You blacks are always victims. Push the victimhood to whites. And yeah, if you're a YouTuber though, man, now you need that money start coming in, bro. And for some reason they think that person is what a black person should be. And I think that's why they do it, because they say, you know what? We see it with the Hodge twins. We see it across, there's no need to name them. You know what they are. When he said listens to rap music, what do they got to do with anything? You can't listen to hip hop music? How you doing, Jolene? Black don't have a corner on victimhood in this country. Okay. Okay, so wait a minute. What about this case right here? Do you think both people should stay in jail? Or how about this? Trump frees them both. How about that? How about Trump says, I'm going to pardon both people? I'm going to pardon Carmelo. I'm going to pardon Derek Chauvin. How about that? Huh? You be happy? You're happy about that? Are you happy about that? Yeah, you guys got a zap like this guy right here. Isn't that weird, man? A grown man creating troll accounts? And I'm a man, brother. Don't you want to go troll some women or something? I'm a dude. Why you want me to notice you in the chat box? And I blocked this guy twice. Well, my thing is, if you're going to accuse someone of defending a murderer, when you have to start with Elon Musk, haven't they been? Isn't that what he's been doing? Isn't that what he's been doing though? That's what he's been doing, right? And it's funny how things are some kind of way not the same. It's not the same. Why? What's the difference between Carmelo and Derek Chauvin? Because somebody in the chat was saying this is not the same. You mean one's white, one's black? You mean like that? You mean the hypocrisy of the people who are attacking Cardi B and the hashtag free Carmelo, yet these are the same people who talk about free Derek Chauvin? Same exact people. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I don't know why they want me to be. I'm asking a question. But see, this is my whole point with this, right? I know they want me to if they want me to have a certain opinion, a certain kind of way. That's what it is, and they've been taught that you can't. Black people don't have a right to their own opinion. You just don't have a right to have your own opinion. Your opinion is prepackaged for you. It's prepackaged. So if you disagree, right, it can't be a disagreement. And that's what I mean. I'm looking at all of these people and I get it. No, let me say something. I get it. I get it. Look, I don't look, whether you like it or not, Carmelo Anthony was found guilty. I understand that. If you're online saying free him, I understand how that could be seen as offensive. But what do you think this Derek Chauvin thing is? You think that's not offensive? Oh, well, George Floyd was expendable. Well, not everybody agrees with you on that. He still was a human being. And it was Derek Chauvin's job. He was paid to protect. He was paid to serve and protect. That's crazy, man. It's crazy how I can't believe I don't know if I can even put this on Trump. I don't even think I can put this on Trump. It's deeper than that. Yeah. So, and I'm saying, okay, you say free Derek Chauvin, free Carmelo Anthony. Okay. So just say if you're someone who says, I don't like that free Carmelo Anthony. Okay. If you're someone who says, I support the judicial system and I support it. Well, then you would have to say leave them both in jail, right? You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't you have to say that? I'm saying I was hoping he would get a fair trial. Now they're finna appeal and they're gonna look and see if there was problems made with that case. In the meantime, he's got to serve his sentence. In the meantime, the only person of note that has publicly supported Carmelo, and she said it's because she got 3 kids. And she's afraid for her boys, whatever, because you got to teach them how to make it. It's Cardi B. Nobody else. I haven't seen the NAACP. You don't even see Al Sharpton. You don't see him. Where's Al Sharpton? You don't see him. You don't see these guys. You don't see Benjamin Crump. You don't see these guys. And maybe this will wake somebody up. Maybe this will wake them up. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. If you have anything to add. And this is where we are, man. The hypocrisy of everything we are. And we got the Chud, the builder case. It's about to drop. And you'll probably have more racist cases come up. Like the stream, man. Reach down there and hit the like. Support the platform. Woo! Here we go. Get rid of him. Like, you see this? I don't think either of them should be free. You see that? Imagine that. Now, Carmelo's having his appeal. If they find some problems, he will be free. But my whole point is we used to be a country like that. We ain't like that no more. Now it's a bunch of excuses. And everything's racial. And you just saw that. I had a bunch of people came in here, had to block a bunch of people. They really, really got the they try to shame black people and force black people to think a certain kind of way. When you say, I don't see a difference, look at Elon Musk. And this is the thing, Elon Musk he's proud of that. Elon Musk said, I don't have to do none of that. I don't have to stop, watch what I say. I don't have to do any of that. And that's a man, brother. And he's a trillionaire. So his support of Derek Chauvin, that's not hurting him. Meanwhile, Fox News is talking about going after McDonald's. They want to have an official boycott against Fox News. You guys keep thinking it's political. That's a racist channel. Oh, it's political. You know, it's not. Going after Cardi B because she disagrees with a case and ignoring Elon Musk, who actually goes on the network, ignoring what he's doing. No, hold on. Elon's doing God's work. There we go. Elon Musk is doing God's work. Free Derek Chauvin. Free Carmelo Anthony. What? How could you say such a horrible thing? That's a murderer. There you go. Yeah, hit the super chat, man. Hit the cash app. Support the platform, man. And somebody's got to tell the truth, man. I don't know. I'm going to tell it. And we wake people up. We wake them up. All you have to do is look at what the intention was. The cop didn't try to delete George Floyd. Plus, the dude kicked his girlfriend. What does that have to do with him being? What does that have to do with the man being executed? I just well, he kicked his girlfriend and he had a fake 20 and he was a criminal and he had drugs. Okay, what does that got to do with him being suffocated? Well, the cop wasn't trying to do it. Well, you know what? He did a good job of doing it. He certainly did, because the woman, the girl said, little kid. And that kid, you know, that little girl is in hiding. because of that video. I think she was what, 16 or something, 15? And she said, "What about him?" She said, "Why you got your knee in his back?" And then Kanye West said, he said, "Mama." That was get the fuck. You know what I'm saying, bro? He was doing that Candace Owens nonsense. Mama was his girlfriend. That's bullshit. Bro, they just say, they tell black people anything, bro. They'll tell you anything. In the meantime, if you got a problem with the free Carmelo Anthony movement, well, you should have a problem with the free Derek Chauvin movement, right? Or maybe it's just one way, huh? Maybe justice is only on one side. Is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to prove that justice only works one way? Like the stream. It says justice for K Slice. I don't know what that means, there, brother. You're exactly right, Miss Jolena. I want to look. If you think Derek Chauvin should be set free, right? Tell me why. And we'll listen to you over here. We're not going to call you. We're not going to hit you with a bunch of names. You can have your opinion. Your opinion really doesn't matter anywhere, but it matters over here. Your opinion matters here. Derek had this city burnt down by his actions. That's the difference. Um, uh, okay, Charlie Kirk, nobody rioted. Yeah, you got me confused me on those two. You're right, Minnesota. That's right, the George Floyd. Yeah, that was Minnesota, man. When did that happen? Like right after the George Floyd? What did it happen? Like the next day? That happened like the next day, didn't it? Those riots or whatever. Mo, that seems like forever, don't it? Doesn't that seem like so long ago? Yeah. That seemed like ancient history now, though, when you think about it. Now, the whole they gonna riot. Carmelo Anthony was found guilty. Where's the rioting? I was told black people they gonna riot. Black people saying y'all better find him innocent or we gonna tear it down. Where did that happen at? Did it happen? I haven't seen it. So that was a lie. So that was another lie. And if you're gonna criticize anyone on social media for saying free Carmelo Anthony, make sure you've criticized Elon Musk. Make sure you've criticized him because he's the one doing it. And him by him doing it, that'll get way more attention than a Cardi B or a Young Miami. Way more attention. Elon Musk, first trillionaire. And he's like, what is Elon, 40 something? Is Elon even 50 years old? Let me see. He's 54, born in South Africa in 1971. He's been married, what, 5 times? Looks like he married the same woman twice. That's something, ain't it? That's, marriage. He married the same woman twice. Man, that's wild right there, bro. That's wild. This guy who thinks Derek Chauvin should be this guy who thinks Derek Chauvin who should be set free married the same woman twice. Well, you got men who don't want to ever be married, period. Marriage is off the table for them. This man married the same woman twice and he's divorced her. How do you do that, woman? How do you get married, then get a divorce, then remarry that same person, and then get a divorce? Free Derek Chauvin, free Carmelo Anthony, same statement, yet it's viewed completely different. It's completely different. It's okay to say free Derek Chauvin because Derek Chauvin was railroaded, Black Lives Matter, and George Floyd was full of fentanyl. He was full of fentanyl. But if you say free Carmelo, and this is supposed to be a free country where you can do that. You're supposed to be able to disagree. You're supposed to be able to disagree. Like the stream, man. Where's my time? This thing's not giving me I've never seen that before. Normally they give you a counter. I haven't seen that one. Derek Chauvin can't be released. He would need the Minnesota. I think the governor, because this is state. He was guilty. He was tried for both. He was found guilty for federal and state crimes. And Trump, he's in a federal facility now. Trump could pardon him, and that means he would be moved back to the state. And he's serving both sentences at the same time. The only way he could be found, he could be really let free, the governor would have to say, we're gonna let him out. And then, of course, he got to have the president because he still got the federal. Is that what this thing is doing? He said this is pointing out the racism. So this is pointing out the racism on the right. Is it really? Imagine that. Well, how about this? How about we do this? How about people who say free Carmelo Anthony? How about they're trying to get justice for a man who they think was denied justice? Free Derek Chauvin. The people who believe that just want to see justice served. How about that? How about that? Can we do that? Is that okay? It was immediately said black people um, Well, they're saying that because they hate white people. Free Carmelo, he's a murderer. Black people, look at them. And it's like, what? Where are you getting all that from? What about Elon? I don't see people saying that about Elon. What is he doing? Well, it's okay for Elon to do it. What? I thought we lived in an equal society. Huh? I thought we lived in an equal society. Do we or do we not? Okay, let me deal with this. Just because he stood his ground and said what he said, don't mean he committed, he deleted. People are too dumb to know the difference. Let me explain this to you. Hold up. I knew this right here would happen. Let me tell you this, brother. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But according to the state of Texas, and he's appealing the case now, he was granted a trial. He was found guilty of the crime. And now he was sentenced. He's got to do his time. But you're free to believe what you want to. Now you're saying that don't mean he's a murderer. Actually, it does mean that. But that don't mean that they won't take a second look, or maybe there was some problems made. You can't you become Elon. The danger of if you start thinking like that, you become Elon Musk. You become Elon Musk. You can't be Elon Musk, man. You know, this is the system we live in. This is the system we live in. We live in America. This is our judicial system. He was judged and they're going to appeal. They're going to say, hey, we got grounds for an appeal, and the courts will take another look. But you can't say that don't make him. Look, I don't know what he is, but according to the state of Texas, he's under their care. And his crime, they found him guilty of the crime that he was accused of. And look at it from that point. Don't mean that you believe that. It also don't believe we'll see how the appeal goes. But god damn. Either way, you can't make it either way, bro. It don't matter. Either way, you can't make it. Either way. Well, anyhow, Cardi B has come out up front, and she has thrown her support in the ring for Carmelo Anthony. She's an entertainer. You know, she disagrees. She thinks that he was defending himself. She's someone of influence, and those are her thoughts. And the NAACP have all come out in support of Carmelo Anthony. I don't see anybody else. I mean, I'm saying publicly, right? Anybody of statue. How about that? Yet Derek Chauvin, man, Elon Musk, that champion him. Like the stream, man. Okay. It said Cardi with her history of all these problems. I got you on that. Well, she's the only one, brother. You figure it out. If she's the only one, she's the only one, right? You figure it out. And we'll see if others come forward, We'll see. I don't know. I'm watching. But I don't think they should be criticized if you're not criticizing Elon Musk. Elon Musk talks to the president. He talks to the president. He went to China with the president. So how can you then turn around and criticize someone who disagrees with this verdict? And maybe they just disagree with the verdict. Why does it have to have some type of racial hostility to it? Because they disagree with the verdict? Reeks, you finna get banned. Okay, this is the brainwash. Here we go. We ain't talking about it. Look at the brainwashing. Republicans were against racism. What about now? What about now? Are they against racism now? Most Republicans were against racism and slavery. Okay, what about now? What about Elon Musk? Isn't he a Republican? Isn't he a Republican? He's supporting Derek Chauvin. And I don't know, man, do you really believe this right here, though? No, I'm saying, do you believe this? Do you think that telling black people this, when they have to live in America, they grow up in America, they see what's going on, they're going to some kind of way have an epiphany and change? Oh, man, I think I'm going to start voting for the Republican Party because they're the ones, it's the Democrats, and Democrats are the ones, the Republicans, they're against racism. Are they? Elon is supporting Derek Chauvin. Yeah, he is smart. He said, Elon. Allegedly, they're saying all of this stuff, these psyops going on with the Chud, the builder, all of this stuff. All of this stuff is coming. If you think Carmelo Anthony should be free, hit the link. If you think Derek Chauvin should have never went to jail, hit the link. People just they can't justify their opinions. They just can't. They're not smart enough to justify their opinions, so they hide in chat boxes and they put up troll accounts. The amount of pushback that these people and where are the and we know there's some black men, right, who are supporting Carmelo Anthony, but where are the big names? Where are they? I see Cardi B up there. Where's the big name? Who? The 50 Cents, the Snoops, where are the big names? I saw Snoop at the Olympics. I saw him carrying the torch at the Olympics. Where's Snoop at? Where's Dre at? Where's Dr. Dre? Where are all these rappers? Where are they at? They're nowhere to be found. The only person who's willing to come out for it is Cardi B. And you'll see these Negroes, you'll see them running around with a big chain on their neck. They have chains on their neck, designer clothes. But when the black community needs something, you're not gonna see them. You ain't gonna see them, bro. That's messing with the money. No, you messing with the money. And for hats off to Fox News, bro. Fox News, bro. They've done a wonderful job, bro. We got a long way to go, man. I don't like Cardi B. Yes, ma'am. I understand that. Miss Jolene, you're exactly right. I don't particularly care for her music. I think she's a hypocrite. I think she knows she's a hypocrite. She doesn't want her kids to hear her music. Well, why make it? Why make music so degenerate that you don't want your kids to listen to it? But she did stand up for a lot of people, right, who feel that way. Free Carmelo for a lot of people, man. She's doing them a service. She's literally putting her future and her career on the line. And a lot of these people, they're afraid to do that. They're afraid to do that. But you see Elon Musk, he ain't afraid of that. And his money's staying up. His money's still coming. Yeah, I'm talking about Derek Chauvin didn't intend to do it. Okay. Derek Chauvin didn't intend to do it. Okay. He didn't intend to do it. I didn't know his wife left him. Wow, I didn't know that. You get locked up, man. You need somebody. I don't know his kids or his family situation, but you need somebody on the outside, man. If your wife leave you, that's terrible. Simona, so we don't teach our kids consequences anymore. Well, I don't know what you mean by that. I would say yes. I have no idea what you mean by that. People don't teach their kids consequences anymore. Oh, you're talking about the poke. Um, well, if you listen to Charleston White, Charleston White said he told him he got other kids. He said that if his kid is guilty of that, he's gonna have to deal with that on his own because he said he has other kids. But no, if he did something like that, he's like, "What you want me to do? I'll do my best to get him a trial, but if he's guilty of it, what do you want me to do? I got other kids to raise." The thing about it, man, it's a tragedy. But yeah, that's pretty much how life is, man. All it takes is 1 second. All it takes is 1 second, and your life is altered. One mistake. Well, the guy who's doing all that, the human Spider-Man, the guy in India, you guys seen it on Twitter. He put his hand on the wrong. He was running around, jumping, running around, and then he put his hand on a rock, and that rock, it sort of gave, and he fell into the volcano and died. All it takes is one time. No matter how good you are, you could be doing backflips, jumping up and down. All it took was one time. He made one mistake. Well, I'm not even say he made a mistake. He reached in to grab. He reached into a hole to grab a piece of the rock that he's probably been using, but by this time it gave. It was just probably loose, and he reached in there and cracked it. He fell, and he passed away. Like the stream, man. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. If you think they should free Derek Chauvin, tell me why. Why do you think they should free Derek Chauvin? Tell me why. Tell me why. And let me tell you something. Let me say this. When you can't stand on it, you're not, you have to be able to stand on what you believe in. You would have to be able to stand on what you believe in. And you want to say free Derek Chauvin. Why? Why should you free him? He was found guilty. Because it was Black Lives Matter. Why? Why should you free Derek Chauvin? Like the stream, man. Hit the like. If you want to free Carmelo, tell me why. We got the join link posted, man. This particular topic is right in front of you. Ain't a whole lot about it. Okay. No. You're right. No. Right here. He says, crashing out gets you in jail. Young black men take this as a lesson learned. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. You see it, but the rappers, you see them on the shows. All it takes is one mistake. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man. One mistake. You could be married. You could be married. You got kids, you got bills, and maybe you caught holy hell from your boss. Maybe maybe the boss was completely out of line. And you come home and you've been drinking and you go into that house and you got an attitude and your wife gets on you because you didn't do something. And all it takes is one time, man. Maybe you lash out and that's it. And no, that's not you. You're like, no, I would never do anything like that. I was drunk and all of that. But man, all it takes is one time. And if anything, we gotta let this case play all the way out. But if anything, you got to get away from people in the sense when people are when you get into the thuggery where one guy is trying to punk the other guy, you don't have to get punked by the guy, but you got to get away. Or as somebody was saying, just fight him. Catch the fade. Just catch the fade. Be done with it. And we do need to go back to fades, man. We do. We used to be men, and when we had a problem, we fought it out. We fought it out. We was a different people then, but we used to fight it out, man. I remember this guy, man. I must have been about nine years old. and there was this big guy. He was like a man-child guy. He would go on to play in the NBA, but at the time he was still a boy. And we were playing football, and a guy hit him late. Older guy, right? So he caught the ball, and he was running, and he stepped out of bounds, and then the dude came in out of nowhere, hit him pretty good, knocked him down. And his mom comes running on the football field and pointed to him and said, you better beat his ass or I'm gonna beat yours. And for the next 15 minutes, I watched this future NBA player beat the brakes off this older brother. I mean, he beat the shit, bruh. And his hands were like mallets. They weren't, this dude would go on to play in the NBA. This man's hands were like mallets. You seen that Sandman character that's in Spider-Man? That's basically what that guy was. He was the goddamn Sandman. And he beat the brakes off that man. And I hate to say it, but even as a kid, that was just too much. Just bash. Bah, 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 bah. Yeah, man, that dude's face was just a mess. It was a puzzle. They literally had to figure out where to put what where. Just a beating. And you know what I'm saying? You reflect on that stuff, man. I didn't want to see that. I was out there play football. But I also learned you don't hit nobody late, man. He let him score. I'm like, let him score the touchdown. Fuck that. It's terrible, Jolene. And that guy would later go on to, matter of fact, I passed by just the other day. I drove by where they found him. He had passed away. Uh, yeah, he passed away. He did something and then he passed away. We got Elon Musk. We got Cardi B. Cardi B's being attacked online. She's being stalked. She's been harassed. They're talking about going after McDonald's, going after all the I can go look her up. She's got a couple of commercials out there. She's got some mainstream commercials. They just say they want to shut her down. And then you turn around and say, well, what about Elon Musk? What about him? Well, isn't he basically doing the same exact thing? Isn't Elon doing the same thing? What's the difference? You want to shut Cardi B down? You want to shut Cardi B down and teach her a lesson, but isn't Elon Musk doing the same thing? Uh-oh. D Nice says both should be in jail. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? The person who died unlawfully put his hands on the kid who defended himself with a defensive tool. I got you. You have rights. I got you. You have rights. Hit the link. You have rights. You got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. There you go. Uh-oh. We got one of them now. Black people are the most racist people on the planet. Uh-oh. Hold up. That's a fact. You can pretend that that can't be racist, but it's clear it is racist to hate people because they are white. I agree with you. If you hate someone because of their color, I agree. I agree. We need a super chat, man. Support the platform. Support the platform, man. I agree with what I'm supposed to disagree with that. I don't. Well, he says if there are people out there who hate people because of their race, they are racist. How about that? The other stuff, black people are the most racist. That's your opinion. Like the stream, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, used to be a time where you fought it out, man. Playing football. No, I'm not talking about this guy. That was in my. That was in my. That's where I grew up. But no, I'm talking about. I'm talking about. On a football team with the pads. The coach would always let you fight it out. Get it out of you. He would let you fight it out. He stopped practice. He stopped practice, let and put everybody in a circle and they fight to get it out. They didn't take it, inside, get it out. And a lot of it had to do with stuff off the field. It wasn't stuff on the field. It was stuff off the field that guys were coming in and responding to. I appreciate the $10 holler right here, brother. He says, but you've already said this, man. What are you trying to do, man? You trying to are you raising what votes for the Republican Party? You've already sent this. Most of your chat don't realize that Republicans are the ones that fought for black people's rights the entire time, except example, Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican. There you go, man. There you go. There you go. There you go. You wanted the floor, you got it. $10. Appreciate that though, brother. You wanted the floor, you got it. And by putting that up there, you've changed everything now. Everything. Carmelo case isn't about race alone, it's about masculinity and the lack of it. If you can whoop me, then you can whoop me. Yeah, I agree. That's what you want. You want it to be like that. I agree. the hypocrisy though, man. And it's like one group wants to dominate the other group. And they want to try to convince that group that they don't enjoy the same freedoms as they do. Yet they consistently play victim. They complain about victimhood, but they play victim. And Elon Musk is the richest man ever, I think. But he's a victim. He's oppressed. Elon done put so much stuff on his Twitter, racist stuff. Richest man in the world is oppressed and a victim. Richest man in the world is a victim. And black people bring up racism too much, and black people are always playing victim. Meanwhile, Elon, that's all he does. And he's the richest man. That all he does is play victim. But that's what you got, man. So basically, you don't have any rights. Well, he's worth the most. You know what, brother? There you go. How about we solve your problem right here? Get your ass out of here. It says Elon is the richest person in the world with roughly 1.1 trillion. And the next one is Larry Page, worth 30 billion. And this clown, I just blocked this idiot in my chat. That just show you how stupid these people are. This clown was arguing with me about that. I ain't the no, Elon ain't the richest person in the world. Is it racist for Elon to suggest that they should free Derek Chauvin? Is that racist? He said, yeah, he's saying it because he's white. Mm. Derek Chauvin deserves to be in prison. You see that? He's only saying that because he's cosplaying a conservative. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we do. We live in a world of double standards, bro. And you would think things would be getting better. They're not. They're getting worse. Um, we got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. If you got something to add, the guy said he grew up in a black neighborhood. He experienced racism. Interesting. That's interesting. Mm. That's interesting, man. And I'm not trying to retry the George Floyd case, but it's offensive, man. If you feel like George Floyd was like disposable, and some people do. Some people look at him as a disposable human being. When the man basically he died in the streets. They reviewed the case and they found the officer guilty. Just about every homicide, you can take that body and that autopsy and have a different person look at it, and they could pretty much come up with a different cause of death. And that's all they did. That's why they bought the drug thing. Is it possible for the drugs to cause it? It's possible. Did it cause? No. And they wanted to go with that. They wanted to basically they wanted Chauvin to get off. Like look for a reason to get him off. Don't go by the evidence. Just look for a reason. That's what they wanted. Charlie Kirk wanted that. Candace Owens wanted that. They basically want a reason to get him off. They didn't care about facts. Look for a reason to get him off. They reviewed everything and found out that he died because the knee was in his back. Unfortunately for Charlie Kirk and Candace, he's in jail. He's got to pay for that, man. He's got to pay for his crimes. He's got to pay for his crimes, man. Really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. In Alabama, they just made a law that if you're homeless, you either go to jail or pay for treatment. Okay. Okay. You got to understand. Um, uh, it's one thing to be homeless and you don't bother nobody. Maybe you sit there with a cup, but some homeless, they're aggressive. They put their hands on you. And a lot of times, even like a store, a homeless dude can be imposing. You have a Family Dollar, and you see five women. No, you see three women who work there, one behind the counter, maybe two out putting up stock, and there's an imposing homeless guy, and he harasses the customer. So yeah, so he's saying that yeah, a lot of times people just a lot of this stuff, and maybe it's because of Trump. A lot of stuff's going to change, man. Yeah, a lot of stuff's going to change. Maybe it's because of Trump. Maybe I don't know, but clearly things are going to change. How can they pay for treatment if they are homeless and if they have a mental issue? Yeah, they're not going to be able to pay. They're not going to be able to pay. So maybe they're just maybe they're trying to run them off. Maybe they created that unfair law so they'll get up and leave. Who knows how this stuff's going to play out, man? Well, see what's going to happen with that. You said get free treatment by going to jail. See, you have limited resources. So a jail can have a drug rehabilitation program. They can have some, but if they get flooded, they can't have it. They don't have the resources. They just don't have the resources. We take a lot of stuff for granted in America. A lot. That stuff can be taken from you. Air conditioned jails. Where do you see you have to air condition a jail? I said have to. Nah, that's a luxury. Air conditioning, that's a luxury. So we paid a lot of taxes. The government has a lot of money. Okay. This is like something you can't even discuss. You know what I mean? If you believe that, if you believe that, mm, Mm. Mm. Hit the join, AJ. Hit the join. Interesting. Trying to understand that one. We got some downtime. Hit the link. Hit the StreamYard link, AJ. It's interesting that you would say this. What's up with you, JR?
What's good, Platt? Chilling, man.
What's up?
On a beautiful day, man. Yeah, that's interesting, man. The thumbnail for the show, man. Picture for the show today, man.
What you think? What you think about it?
That's interesting, man. Yeah, I mean, it's uh divisive, man, for sure. You know, it's
What,
divisive.
the thumbnail's divisive?
No. The comments. You know, the comments. You know, behind.
No, but isn't it the truth though?
I mean, yeah, it's the truth, but it's still divisive.
Yeah,
On either
I'm
side,
saying,
anybody can see it as
I
divisive on
seen
either side.
free Carmelo hashtag, and everybody's in those chat boxes calling the people racist, saying that you guys support a murderer. And I said, well, wait a minute. What about Eli? You know, like, I don't see that on his stuff. And I said, it's almost like it's a given. Like Ben Shapiro did a whole podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, so if and Cardi B, and I said, ain't even no black people publicly saying anything about the case like that. Cardi B, that's all he's got. Now, it's a lot to have, Cardi B, right? But what I'm saying is she's only one that's brave enough to go public in support of him. And instead of calling her names, calling her racist, what about Elon? And we used to be a people like that. There are people out there who would say, leave them both in jail.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're not like that now. If we go by race now, if he's white, let him out. If he's black, he don't deserve a fair trial.
Yeah. That's why I say it's divisive on either side, man. You know, people entitled to say what they want to say, but it's gonna be divisive on either side. You know, whoever's looking at it, whether you want to say an ethnicity, whether it's black or white, like people, they're gonna look, they're gonna digest those comments as divisive, so divisive. So it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose for people in general, man, because you're clouded by, you know, the judgment or the actions of others instead of just taking into account your own thoughts about it. It's everything is just, it's a us against them now type of situation. When that's crazy. Like the people that's in the comments, these your neighbors, these your coworkers, these are your, people you grew up with in neighborhoods and things like that. It's crazy, Hell, some of these could be my patients or former patients or clients, future clients. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So it's a scary world, you know, that we're living in now because I remember growing up, things were, so segregated, but you had your pockets of, you had your black community of, of people or middle class people and this and that and everybody, I kind of heard you and the boy talking about it last night, how the community looked after each other. The women of the night, I think you was like phrasing it or something like that. But essentially people looked out for each other. But now, man, people of all ethnicities, they get a little money, they move into different, neighborhoods, and hell, you people not even talking to their neighbors anymore. You get black people that move into the, quote unquote affluent, neighborhoods or diverse neighborhoods, and the lack of communication that they may have across the community, but your kids are, going to these schools and things like that. So it's a strange time right now, man. And I'm fearful for like our children, because again, these are probably educators that are on in these comments, that have impact on a possible outcome of how kids think, man, and
Hmm.
and how they could treat people, and things like that. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, um, a lot of them are just trolls and bots.
Yeah,
So
but I saw the show that you had, and you had a few, white gentlemen on there, and one guy was kind of like, I'm one with nature and all of this, and he made some points, but he's all over the place. And then you had a guy that was, I think he was in Florida, and he was kind of like, nah, man, this is what it is. And another guy from Utah or Arizona, wherever the hell they was from. But they, like I said, these are neighbors, man. These are neighbors. These people we work with, man. These people we make money with, business deals with,
hmm
and when they go home, they're a completely different person. Or they could be that person right in
what,
front of your face, and
what are they so mad about?
I have no idea,
Oh, well,
man.
let me ask you this, Jr. If people get upset with free Carmelo Anthony hashtag and say, "Oh my God, they're supporting a murderer," what do they think? How do they think black people felt about the last 5 years they've been running around talking about free Derek Chauvin?
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're not thinking, right? It has completely turned to a us against them, like completely turned.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was, who was it? I don't want to like put this on nobody, but I want to say it was some guy that was on the show, and he was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be an all-out war, blah blah blah. You need to start arming yourselves and stuff like that, and blah blah blah." I don't think it'll ever get to that point where you have to like arm yourself and house all these weapons to feel protected. But a all-out war it has become, and it's in the form of uh uh how the media presents things, currently. All these social media outlets, man. Uh, I mean, you look at it from a legal standpoint, which it's never been, fair or equal, some would say. And then you look at it from a policy standpoint with some of these southern states, the way they're gerrymandering voting, right? And voting matters. Like that's why
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about it with Tabor, like when you think about the judge that was appointed in that county, what was it, Colton County, down there where Carmelo Anthony was tried? You think about that judge that was appointed in that
Mm-hmm.
area. You think about the DA that was appointed in that area. All that comes down to votes, man. It
Mm-hmm.
comes it comes down to votes. So if constituencies are broken up and divided out and carved up to the point where it don't matter how you vote, where you vote, your vote is just watered down, it'll there will never be a fair fight, or for somebody to stand up or say something, or not overcharge or over sentence, or whatever the case may be, man. It's even even when they say the amount of jurors that were on there, not one black person polled from 500 jurors, not one. So if you
Mm-hmm.
just go from statistics, right? African Americans make up 14% of the U.S. population. So even if you dumb it down all the way to a county, you could roughly say, okay, maybe in that Colton County, roughly, maybe they make up 14% there. So you saying out of the 500 people that were selected as to, or information sent out as jurors, not one black person was selected to be on that jury. That's crazy. Not one. I mean, sure, you had an Indian and somebody of Indian descent there, and I believe there was like maybe two Hispanics or Latin American or whatever the case, but not one black person. Wow, that's crazy. So man, try by a jury of your peers, and I know the definition of peer doesn't mean ethnicity, but golly, man. When you start looking at peers and things like that, quote unquote, people look at skin tone and the color of your skin as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. So that
And was okay. Well, Derek Chauvin was found guilty of the crime he was accused of, but the makeup of the jury, did he face an all black jury?
hell no, not even close.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Right? But the day we see an all black jury on anything, man. The day we see a majority black jury, I'm sure somebody will be able to, well, if you look at this case versus this case, it was a majority black jury. Well, it's not often. I'll tell you that. It's not often. So yeah.
Where did you see an all black jury?
No, I'm saying somebody, somebody gonna Google search or throw in the
No,
chat or something like
they've
that.
never been an
Yeah.
all black jury.
Not to my knowledge.
No, there's never been one.
But somebody will even say, well, there's been a majority black jury.
I don't
Somebody
even
gonna
think
throw that in the comment,
I don't
but
think you don't find that.
you may not.
No, that's
But
what we talk. This is Carmelo Anthony. We talking about what Trayvon Martin. If somebody did all that, and they came and they said that's never happened. They've never had an all black jury.
yeah. So it's crazy, man. But that's why voting matters, man. And I know people like, man, some people that don't care for voting. Yeah, voting don't matter. The game rigged anyway. Blah blah blah. No, it matters, man. Because these people that are elected to represent our areas, it matters, man. When you go and you see the somebody coming up for county sheriff or somebody's coming up for the DA in your area, that matters. If you do not go and vote locally, it matters. So
Yeah,
it
you can lose
matters,
your
man.
rights. You can lose rights.
Yeah.
People are finding out.
You can lose your rights, man. You can even just lose your voice. They get in their office, they don't have to listen to you or worry about a specific area. When the job describes that they should worry about all areas, right? But more oftentimes than not, when they get in there, it's nah, man. We're not worried about this area, or funds are taken away from a certain area to pour into another area. More. It's crazy, man. But your vote matters, man. Representation matters. But people don't see it that way, and they
Well,
say, "Nah, I'm not gonna vote. I'm
we're
not
gonna
gonna do
find
this."
we're gonna find out the hard way then.
Yeah,
No matter what people think, if power is power. If you give people the power, they're gonna exercise that power.
yeah. I mean, it's been shown throughout history. When people get power, they abuse it.
Yeah.
Over and over again. That's very consistent throughout history. When people get power, they will abuse it, whether it's for
And what
them
about
directly or
what?
for the people that's in their bubble. They'll abuse that power.
what about all these people, right? We see that Carmelo, they said he was guilty, right? That's what the court said. Let me say that because you
Mhm.
got to, because people's brains is messed. The court said found him guilty, and out of all the black people, right, comedians, we just had the Kevin Hart roast, all those people that was up there roasting Kevin Hart himself, um, NBA Finals, all those people in the finals. I haven't seen none of those people say anything about this case. And on top of that, the only person who's standing up is Cardi B. So you can see that a lot of the men, the black men, are cowards, and they won't speak up for him, and a lot of them hiding. They
Oh
might
yeah.
be doing something behind the scenes, right? But they don't want that out, right? And you look at a guy like Elon, that's my whole thing. You look at Elon Musk before he became a trillionaire, before he also just went over a billion. He became a trillionaire because of the way he's got his stuff. His net worth went up a billion, like overnight. A
Crazy.
billion,
Yeah.
a billion. So um, he up front with his stuff saying free Derek Chauvin. And he'll say that. He ain't worried about what nobody do. It ain't gonna hurt him.
Yeah, it's not.
But then you look at the black community and them dudes running like rabbits.
Yep.
And I said the NAACP, that's it. That's all he's got. He don't have financially, he don't have Cardi B, but publicly he has her.
Yeah.
So and the NAACP. Why are people so afraid of this case? Like if you're Al Sharpton or a Benjamin Crump, or why are they so afraid of this case?
So,
They want some money. They want some money.
nah, I don't even think it's about money. It's a volatile case altogether, right? Uh, because a calculated misstep, right, for like somebody, let's say like somebody like Ben Crump, right? Very, very calculated about the cases he represents and the cases that he puts his face in front of
Uh-huh.
or his law firm in front of. Very calculated, you
It
know.
look, you're right. Look like that's what it is.
It's calculated, man. So to me, look, how I feel about it, am I disgusted, by it? Yeah, but it's his firm, it's his, namesake, it's his, you know, uh his character or whatever that has to be called into
Mhm.
question. It
Mhm.
wouldn't be mine. I could say however I feel about him, but at the end of the day, it's him.
He's
You know,
skill says they're not afraid. They're keeping their distance because they know that boy is guilty and race has nothing to do with it. You think that's why they're doing it?
yeah. Look, I'm
I
not.
don't
I'm
think
not.
I don't think no, I think because look at Cardi. They're saying already with Cardi, people talking about boycott the places where she has advertisements or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, they're already talking about attacking her. And this is my thing. Why can't you just let her have her opinion? Elon got his opinion. Why does it have
yeah,
to carry anything else? She has a hatred for whites. Where are you getting it from? Because she said free Carmelo Anthony?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That's
but what is Elon and Ben Shapiro been saying? But they're not catching no type of flack. None, no
strange.
flack. No flack. And Al Sharpton, they saying that, well, you know what? He ain't supposed to stay away from a case because he thinks the person's guilty. He's supposed to represent the community.
Hmm.
But I don't know. That to me, I know this is not, like it's a touchy subject, but to me, this makes black men. I'm talking about all of these. I'm not talking about these YouTube people. I'm talking about the big money people, like the Snoop Dogs and all that stuff. It's making them look real weak, man.
Yeah, the figureheads, right? The figureheads of the
Uh-huh.
communities, right? It make them look weak, man. But again, they're gonna be very calculated about what they say, how they address it, if they decide to address it, if when they're going on a media run, if this question is brought up, they're gonna shut it down. We're not talking about it, we're not answering it, all those things. It's like I said, it's a highly contentious situation right now. And they don't want that type of pressure on them. They don't.
Look, he say, I see if you're black, you got to say he's not guilty because he's a black. That's how I hear it in it. Well, you know what? I don't know. That's a question that JR got to ask. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get up here and say that he's not guilty. Yes, he's guilty, right? He defended himself, but a life was taken. Now, do I think as far as the charge he received, no, I don't think murder was the intent. Manslaughter, yes, a life was taken, and I'm not dumb to that fact of, just as bad as the community hurts for Carmelo Anthony, man, the same community hurts for the Metcalf family. The same community.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb on that. Man, that young man made a terrible mistake, and a life will never be able to walk through the doors or hug his mom or his father, his brother. That opportunity is taken away from that family. So yes, time does need to be served for that. Because if I was the father of the child that life was taken, I'm not gonna, be like, well, he just made a mistake, and he was defending himself, and he just needed to, he nobody can tell you how to defend yourself. A life was taken, man. But do I think murder was, should have been the statute that he was charged with? No, because if you look at the defined law of murder, there's intent behind it. I don't think there was intent, right? Everybody throws in all these extra things where, well, testosterone was high. We're talking about 17-year-old kids and da 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 and this and the third. So I don't think his intent was to, like, oh, I'm about to lay you down.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was emotionally hijacked in that moment, made terrible judgment in that moment, and a reaction that he took and that he had an effect in that event. Yes, you need to go sit down and think about that. 35 years of sitting down, that's a bit much for me. Being charged with murder, that's a bit much. Manslaughter, absolutely. But and another thing, like,
And
something that
he's doing it in his youth.
in his youth. So that time's gone, man. By
You
the
look
time
at,
he get out, he'll be what?
he'll be
Or
like
50, he'll be 50,
uh,
50 something.
yeah,
Because he's
35.
19 now,
Yep.
35 years. He'll
They
be
got to do
50,
7. I think it's
54,
38. You got to do 17, and then he's up for
17. Yeah.
he's
That's
up.
if he get out on parole. Yeah.
Mhm. But Derek Chauvin is was married. I think he's had kids. So he tasted life.
hmm
He tasted life. Now he's in prison, and people trying to get him out. But he tasted life. It's like, okay, I made a mistake, but at
Yeah.
least I was able to have some type of life, enjoy some part of life, right? Carmelo Anthony, he's not even an adult. So
Yeah.
he's literally going to be in jail. The sentence is older than him.
Yep.
So if he doesn't get out, he's going to spend the majority of his existence in prison.
That's why I'm like, I I had a feeling double digits was gonna be a part of the sentencing. I didn't think 35 years. I was thinking more like 10 to 10 to 15, somewhere in that range. Like, they're gonna give him 10 to 15. You're gonna have to go sit down, and then that be what it is. But nah, they like, nah, we're doing 35 because you come up for parole half of that time. That's 17 years. So that's right above that 10 to 15 where I was thinking. Because let's say if it would have maxed out at 15, then 7.5 years he could have been looking at parole kind of situation. But yeah, man. Terrible situation all around, man. And it's definitely a teachable moment for all parties involved, black, white, indifference. It's a teachable moment for all, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then something I find odd, you know, even though I don't care for it, and I think it was highly distasteful, with uh Metcalf's father, like going on his, I don't know, it was like 2 hour rant, talking about stuff
Mm.
and attacking the family personally and the culture personally, and speaking to DEI and homosexuality. He was speaking to a array of things, right? I think highly distasteful. But I understand you're upset. Nobody can tell you how to heal, how to go through it. It's a volatile situation for your family, and that's what you decided to do. Get on social media and blast off your emotions. That's fine. People do it every
Well,
day.
well, we got the world's richest man publicly supporting Derek Chauvin on his Twitter account. He consistently says that whites are victims and that they're under oppression. That's what he says,
Yeah,
even though he's the world's richest man.
world richest man, but
Yeah,
but he under oppression. Not
yeah.
even American. Come on, man.
I, I think, isn't he? He's not American.
Nah,
He's not.
he's not. No,
He
he's
don't
not
have no. He don't have
American.
no citizenship.
Not that I know of. Let me Google.
He was born in South Africa. You sure he hadn't become an American citizen?
Let me check. That's a quick Google search. Yeah, say in 2002.
Okay, so he is American citizen. Okay, so he's an American citizen. What I'm saying, you look at him defend Derek Chauvin and all of these Negroes, and I'm being for real, bro. All these Negroes, and they always want to talk about their money and look at my chain and you know, check my car out. I just bought two of these. The hip hop guys show off a whole garage full of cars and look at my sneaker collection. And when it comes time when you need them, the black community need them, they don't show up. And the
Yeah.
only one, and this is going, people. But look, man, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? 50? Where's he at? Kendrick,
They're
where
not
you at?
gonna say. They're
Where
not
you
gonna
at?
say
Hold on.
50.
Kendrick, where you at? Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Where you at?
Ain't gonna
Where
say
you at?
nothing.
Where all of these black wealthy celebrities, where are they at? They're nowhere to be found. The only person that's standing up for him, and look, I didn't make this. You go look it up yourself. The only person of note, of interest, right? There's people out standing up, but they certainly don't have the influence or the platform of Cardi B. The only person is Cardi B. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be backlash for this. They're gonna accuse her of supporting a murderer. But they'll never do that to Elon Musk. Never. But they're going to do that to her. So she's going to be the sacrificial lamb for
Hmm.
trying to stand up for this guy. And them other guys, they ain't going to stand. That's what I'm saying. He's Rick Ross and stuff. He's at his car show. That's what I mean. I saw Rick Ross. I saw some comedian. Where's Kevin Hart? Is Kevin Hart saying something?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. So, but they're not. They're gonna. We don't get it, man. You wonder why. That's why we. That's why That's why I be saying this stuff. All this stuff about black people, and then Charleston White, right? He said that when you look out for black folks, they'll fight you. And you see that he's right. Now they're the ones with all the money. They're the ones who made the money. They live in the mansion. Hey, he got 35 cars. But when you say, hey, I got 25 subscribers on my Facebook, can you help me get this message out? Hell no.
Yeah, they're not doing it, man. You know, they have to be calculated, man. They got to protect their own investment, man.
What are
You
they
know,
doing that's wrong, though? I'm just saying all they're doing. I don't get okay. So they can't do what Elon can do.
they can't do it, man.
Why not?
I, I don't know, man. That's the $100 question. You know, I don't know whether it's a business decision, whether it's an ethical or moral decision for them. Who knows why they're not doing it?
What
I
Jordan
mean,
at?
we could come on, man. You know,
What
Jordan
Michael
ain't gonna talk
Jordan at?
about
No,
that.
where Mr. Nike at? Team Jordan. Where Michael Jordan at?
You know they ain't gonna talk about that, man.
Where Mike at? We need to be proud of him, man. He got so much money. Jordan's. That's Jordan. Team Jordan. Michael Jordan doing it. He worth $3 billion. Okay, where's he at?
Yeah,
You ain't gonna see him.
yeah. It's sad, man. It's it's sad, you know. And look, the healing process, it can't even, excuse me, it can't even start, for the families, because obviously the Anthony family, they will be appealing, and it's just going to be an ongoing process for them, and that creates more, heartache for the Metcalf family. So I know somebody put in a comment like, the Metcalf father tried to like go over and pray with the, you know
Mhm.
I think
Well,
that's admirable, right? But I
well,
just think you can't, at that time, emotions are just too high. And
well,
you're asking somebody else right now, like, man, let's pray together. Like, nah,
I
man.
think they should have did it. I do. I think that when he showed up, I think that they should have prayed together.
I think it would have been nice, but I understand not doing it because everybody's healing journey is different, you know? So everybody's healing journey is different. So
I wish they would have. I wish they would have prayed with him.
it would have, yeah, it would have been, it definitely would have been nice to see. I think, hopefully, or if it does ever come to, to pass where they can sit down and discuss and, whether they want to make it like a full blown interview, 60-minute style interview or something like that, or, they just do it with no cameras and they're able to, uh, talk, speak, and go from there. But you can't put a timetable on when you want somebody to do something. You can extend that hand out, and if the hand is genuine, right? Because that's the only thing that, like I said, he went out and did the Metcalf father went out and did the message as far as how he felt, and I can't blame him for that. That's how you feel. I can't tell you how to feel because I haven't lost a child, so I don't know how that feels. So I don't know those emotions. But at the same time, people, oh well, he extended, to pray with the, yeah, but you can't tell other family how to feel too. Everybody gonna heal at different, stages at a different pace. But if it was genuine, right? if the invitation to pray was genuine, then the follow-up of the rant, that's where I'm kind of like, so was the invitation genuine in that moment? Or was it, like for camera's sake? What was it? But who knows? Only person that knows that is that man. But uh, I don't have no feeling towards, what he said. He showed who he is. I mean, somebody show
Mhm.
me who they are on that rant. You prop that camera up or that phone or your computer or whatever, whatever device you use to record it.
But the whole thing is, if you're a family and your kid is accused of a crime, hadn't been found guilty, and you hold a press conference, and the victim's father or mother shows up at your press conference, I think you do extend a hand of friendship, a hand of support. Both of us have lost something.
Yeah.
So I do think you do it. I think you pray with them. And they're saying, okay, we see him make that rant and watermelon felon stuff. Well, you know what? If he does do that, that doesn't change the fact that you and both you and him had a moment and y'all were trying to find
Healing.
yeah, you're just trying
Yeah.
to find it. But the fact that, he did that, I don't think that would mean that if you prayed with him 5 months ago or whatever, or a year ago, and then one day he makes a video that says watermelon, that doesn't change what you did.
Yeah. It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. So I wish they would have prayed with him.
Yeah, I wish they would have. I wish they would have too. But the process of healing it's a process. That's why they call it a process, right? The catch-22 of it all is looking back. You're like, oh yeah, and maybe I should, but obviously you're not thinking about the ramifications of what that could mean for you, personally healing, because that's the most important part for them to heal, but also for a community to heal. Hell, I mean, it's national news for maybe for the tempers of a nation to cool for a little bit, but you're not. That's not processing through your head at that time. Whatever the emotions are, the emotions. So it's kind of like, nah. So I get it, but I would have liked to see it as well. And I think it would have been. I think it would have meant
We,
a
we,
lot for both families.
we gotta have we have to come together as a country. This is not good. And like I said, Cardi B was besieged with accusations. Fox News talking about going out to McDonald's. I think she has like a lipstick or something. They was talking about shutting
Yeah,
that down. Obviously, they don't listen to her music, so but they're talking about preventing her, like Kanye West, preventing her from having shows. And
hmm
and I'm just like, okay, well, what about Elon? What about him? Or is there any boycott against no? Well, what's the difference?
yeah.
And that's where
Isn't that?
people have a problem. Because when you say that, is what you mean.
Yeah, it's
What's
the hypocrisy of it
yeah?
all, man.
What's the difference?
It's the
What's the difference?
hypocrisy of
Yeah,
it all.
if you say, hey, if a person is found guilty, you accept the findings of the court. Okay, Derek Chauvin. Well, he's not. Wait, well, he's not. When he's not. No, he's not guilty. But Carmelo Anthony is, and you don't know how you know. You're saying Derek Chauvin's is not. You don't know that.
You
That's what I'm saying. This is nothing but racism, brother. And
Yep,
I'm saying they don't even see that they're practicing the same thing they're complaining about.
exactly. Exactly, man.
And a lot of them put their foot in their mouth with this stupid free Derek Chauvin nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Uh huh.
It's happening. It's happening on both sides, man. Black and white. It's happening on both sides, and man, people just need to think of, think about what you're saying, and put yourself in those shoes, reverse the role, and then reconsider the statement. And does that statement still sound true? I don't think a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people consider that. It's more emotional, and people go and look up different laws and say, well, no, this, that, and the third, and well, Carmelo Anthony had a right to defend himself. He absolutely had a right to defend himself. Well, Metcalf shouldn't have said what he said about. He absolutely had the right to say that. What's the difference?
Mm-hmm.
He got the right to say it. Now, whether it was tasteful, did it help anything? Absolutely not. Same thing for Carmelo Anthony. Did it help anything in this situation? No.
Are
A
those
life was lost.
are those children who testified in court, are their lives changed forever?
Yeah.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Especially for the ones that saw the incident happen. I don't know how many people that have seen someone.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, are they under pressure from like the internet? Are people harassing them on the internet?
Absolutely.
They are?
Their names. I would believe so. If the families, the families of both sides, Anthony family and the Metcalf family, both stated that they received, threats on their lives, on their
I'm
families'
talking about
lives.
the witnesses.
Yeah. Why?
No. Have you seen something saying that this person was a witness? They testified in their life. Somebody's in their social media, or someone is trying to, dox them or something. Have you seen any of that? Because I haven't seen any of that.
I haven't seen it. But speculating, right? That, man, it's some deranged people. Platt, it's some deranged people in this world, man.
Oh, I know.
So would you be shocked if one of those young people that was on the witness stand come out and say, my I feel like my life is in danger, I'm being threatened? Would you be shocked to hear that? You wouldn't be shocked. You would just be like, there's some crazy people out here. So I haven't heard it, I haven't seen it, but I would not be shocked if that were to come out. I would not be shocked if I saw a CBS report saying witness, whatever, receives threats on his life and his family. I wouldn't be shocked. There's deranged people out here. It's deranged people in the chat. You be saying, whether it's bots or not, some of it's real, some of who knows.
Oh yeah, those people. No, you can't, and they're not going. They have their mind made up, and they look at the world from the standpoint. Derek Chauvin is innocent, and they don't care. They weren't on the trial. They just say it because they heard it on Fox News, so they believe it. So then they believe that Carmelo Anthony is guilty. Why? Because he heard it on Fox News. And if you disagree as a black person, you hate white people.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what they've been programmed to believe. And they believe that. So that's the thing they don't understand. When I watch this stuff, when I look at the chat, I know they believe that. I said, man, these people are sick. They're sick, man. That's your fellow American. You care nothing about your fellow American. But that's all you're gonna get. I was looking that chick up. She won a Puzzler Prize, Publisher Prize, or whatever.
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, she won that. A citation. That's what it says, citation for the filming the video. And for filming that video, and they said that's what I'm saying. He was honored. No, but she's been in hiding. They said that she stays out of the limelight. Now, she witnessed that. She was 17, and she was, she was standing over him saying, You gonna keep standing? Don't you see? Don't you think he should be able to breathe? A kid coming home from school witnessed the George Floyd slaughter. She witnessed that. She witnessed that, and after that, I think she had to have some counseling, and she did get some threats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Platt, it's not. It's the world we live in, man. That that child that recorded that incident had nothing to do with the actual incident, but received threats on their life. That's crazy. So if you don't think those young adults that got on that stand for this past trial, and you don't think that they untouched, that they're not gonna, or they probably, if they haven't already received, come on. Shit. Man, I got some beachfront property to sell you in Arizona then. Come on. Let me sign you up. Cause
Let me show you. He says, this is where you don't, this how you're brainwashed by Fox, right? You're brainwashed. Fox News, you say a Sean Hannity, what was that? What's her name? Laura Ingraham. You say they didn't say that he was innocent. They don't have to. You know how they get away with that? They bring on a guest.
for
They
the
bring on
guests to say it.
oh yeah, the guest been saying it.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it. Hold up, do they ever challenge the guest? No.
No.
They bring on the guest and they listen. And the guest will come on. I'll tell you how Fox does it. They'll bring on a guest. They'll probably be a black conservative. And they'll come on and say, black people are the only ones complaining about this. It's so obvious this person. I think they did that too, Derek Chauvin. He was sacrificed and they just listened to him. And then they come back like this. You said, Fox News didn't say that.
Yeah. Or they didn't, huh? But the third party person they brought on the show said it. And you know how they frame it? They said, this is said often. These are the facts. For whatever person they bring up there, these are the facts.
Yeah.
And then they start talking.
Yeah, they'll do a Zoom or whatever, with somebody. Oh, but I remember when Obama first won, they had oil. It was in the ocean, and they were showing it, and it was jetting out, and something about they had to stop it. And Fox went and got some black dude. He's a conservative, so anyhow, he had like a water. You gotta get that 5-gallon little water thing at the job that you drink out of.
Mm-hmm.
He had one of those, and it was filled with. I know it wasn't oil, but it was some black substance, and he had wrote in a Sharpie, Obama's oil, and it was like, this is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was sitting up there. He had set it up there, and Obama doesn't care. This is what's going to happen. He's going to pollute the oceans, and he's not even trying. It's like they are so brainwashed by Fox that they don't even understand. You're supposed to be fair. You're supposed to be. They're not even trying to be fair.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
It's nuts, though, bro. It's nuts, and I have no idea. I don't know where we're gonna go, man. This is when I look at the thumbnail. This is scary. It's scary for me. Hold up, I'm a black man. It's scary for me to know black man. I'm talking about of note. I know there are a lot of YouTubers who have made videos and stuff. I'm talking about someone out there. I'm talking about the Kevin Harts, the Michael Jordans, the Will Smiths. Where are these guys? The Chris Rocks. Where are these guys? Where are all of these guys? Where are they at? Where are they?
Not saying a word.
Yeah.
Not saying a word, man.
Say it, bro.
You know, everything has to be. It has to be calculated. You know, it has to be
Michael B. Jordan, where's he at? Is he why not? Why isn't he speaking out? He just won an Oscar.
calculated. It has to be calculated.
How come Elon Musk? He ain't worried about it. He ain't worried about no backlash and no shit like that.
Cause Elon Musk don't need nobody. He's the richest man in the world. Who does he need? I mean, you could say he need consumers. His product will still be bought, right? He took a massive hit in the stock when Trump was initially elected. Man, he made that up quick. Doge came in there, and we're gonna change up these policies. We're gonna change up this policies. We're gonna change up this policy. His growth. You just said it, right? Everything led up to this point for SpaceX to go public. $1 billion growth in a matter of 2 days. Who else can do that? Nobody.
Oh, you talking about Elon?
Yeah, who else can do that?
The money gonna do that though. That's how money. You know.
That's how money works. Trump
Yeah.
Trump can't even move money like that, man. He tried. Boy, he tried. When we gonna sue the IRS, we gonna do this. We suing this news station. He tried. Yeah, but he couldn't get, it couldn't get through like that. Elon was calculated. I'm gonna buy this election so I can go in and I can move these policies around because this company is going public. He was in there calculated. I just need a little bit of time so I can get in here and cut all of this fat out.
Well, let me ask you this: what is his whole? Why is he racist though? Don't say he ain't racist. I'll give him. I don't know. You say you can't be a little pregnant. He's a little racist. I got to say that about Elon.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I wish he wasn't. I really wish he wasn't. But he is. I go by his tweets. I don't know. Maybe is somebody telling him to tweet this stuff? I can show you tweets that are clearly racist, bro.
Nobody telling him to tweet that. That's how you feel.
That's crazy. You're a trillionaire, and you up here racist at people. You don't like black people. You know what? That's cool though, because when he goes to Mars, he can. I don't want to go to that shit.
He getting that money though. That's why I say he doesn't need anybody. Once he got what he wanted, once he donated that $250 million to that campaign to solidify a win, he got it. I don't need nobody. A small little write-off for him. $250 million. That's what you need? 200. Cool. Wrote that check off. They were I remember here in North Carolina, they were telling people if you register to vote, we'll send you $1 million check. If you just register. If you've never registered to vote and you register as a Republican, your name could be put in the hat for $1 million check. You know how illegal that is? Like, that's hella illegal. That's what they were telling people. So they go register under as a Republican with the hopes of them, oh, maybe I get $1 million. Maybe my name will be selected. I was like, that's crazy as hell. But that's what they were telling people. It was a big news situation here in North Carolina because, before we were like considered a swing state, but, a purple, state. Who knows what direction it's gonna go? Nah, they came and made sure they cleaned that out. But yeah, he put that $250 donation up for the campaign. He bought what he wanted. Hey man, I'm gonna send you this money. Cool. This is all I need. Give me 90 days. He got in there, in and out. Ran that algorithm through every database in the government and got every contract he want.
They truly fell out. So that was for real. Because
Yeah,
Elon had a black eye.
they fell out. They
Yeah,
did.
no. Trump likes that. I don't know how Trump ran his businesses, but Trump he likes fighters. He likes it like that. He don't like where a guy he don't like diplomacy and be the better man. Trump don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them guys is Secretary of Interior or something, and Trump was
Popped
in
him in
there.
his eye.
Yeah, and Elon, he threw something down or something, and Elon got mad, and Trump didn't say nothing. Trump was looking, and Elon tried to like square up, and that dude knocked the shit out of Elon.
What'd you think they was fighting over, Platt? I mean, I got a wild guess.
They was doing it for Trump. It was something no. One of them didn't like what he was doing. No, they said the interior guy. I don't know. It's one of them. He said that the way Elon had did it was was not gonna work. And Elon was like, yeah, it'll work, just do it. He said some smart shit, and Trump was just looking. And then Elon was like, oh, you want a piece of me? And Trump loved that. Trump really had, was focused on that. And I guess
think they were fighting over money.
Nah, the dude got a shot. He got a clean shot and got him in the eye.
I think it was over money, man.
Somebody owed somebody some money.
No, I just think when Elon was going in, as the under the guise of Doge, like he was taking a buzzsaw to a lot of things, cutting up a lot of stuff, and I think some of that stuff interfered with some of the other dealings that people on the cabinet had in place. White men, they'll fight over some money, man. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Black men will fight over.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, white men will fight over money quick, fast, in a hurry, man. You start dipping into a man in general, start dipping into their pockets, man, they fighting over that, man. But that's what I think. He came in and let the algorithm go, and the algorithm was working what algorithms do. They work, but the algorithm don't see color. The algorithm don't see ethnicity, gender. It just see words. So it's just cutting all these, cutting up and angling up all these words. Like, sure, you can make the algorithm focus on DEI and things like that, but all the other policies that they were cutting in, I think it was cutting into some of these people that were in the cabinet, it's cutting in some of their money. Like, whoa, man, you coming in and cutting this? Like, brother, we eat off of this too. What you mean? Nah, just do it. It'll work. Hold on, time out. What you mean it's gonna work? It'll work, yeah, but I'm taking a loss. You not. That's what I think they're fighting over. Money.
Maybe.
If I were to take an educated guess, that's what I would go with. But man, them books so cooked, man. They selling the US bit by bit, man. It's cooked. I heard you mention the other, I think it was maybe last night. I think I was listening. I was kind of on and off because I was watching the finals. But when Elon went to China, took his son and all of that stuff, what the hell he doing there? Money. That's what it's about. Money.
Are you talking about when he took his son to China?
Mm-hmm.
No,
with Trump and everybody else? What?
Well, yeah,
you're not a part of the cabinet. Why are you there?
They went over there to impress what's it, Jinping. They went over there to impress him. And if you really look at it, he tried to make a play like we could do more for you than Putin. And he didn't fall for it. They know Trump. They know what he's trying to do. So he bought all those people over there, those investors. And then as soon as they left, I think about 3 weeks later, Putin showed, and they did this on purpose. He rolled out the red carpet for Putin. Now, he made it seem like Putin was the greatest, and it was embarrassing because Trump was humbled and kissing his ass and but see he don't he thinks it's like that. Man, no, they those guys, Putin and Jim, they actually like each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because they, you know, they're both dictators, and I don't. They said they're making a complete ass out of Trump.
Yeah.
They said Putin is.
I mean, that China and Russia, the common thing with their leaders is longevity, right? They can be at the hierarchy for as long as needed. That don't happen here in America. Trump will never get that same,
Well, it's called
he'll never get that same
we
respect.
we got a democracy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? If I'm Xi Jinping, like cool, Trump, Trump can come in, travel over, come in, man, you can be the best used car salesman ever. I'll make the best deals ever. That's his thing. He's a salesman. He's a businessman. You know how to make deals. But the deal you cannot make is longevity as the president. He
Okay.
trying.
Okay, because it's a democracy. What I'm
Yeah,
saying is, it's not this country, America, wasn't made to do what Trump wants to do.
but that's what I'm saying. That's why it's not advantageous for Xi Jinping to. Okay, yeah, Trump, we got you, man. Let's go ahead and iron out this deal because it's not advantageous. It's not advantageous for China to okay, let's make this deal. And guess what? In 2-3 years time, then I'm gonna have to be making another deal with somebody else. But I'm dealing with Russia. I know if I shake Putin's hand right now, this deal can stand until Putin gone. I guess it's not advantageous, man. Trump trying though. He trying. He 2028 hats and all of that stuff. And yeah, he trying, but we're in a democracy. And Trump going over there, he's shaking hands, rubbing shoulders, let's get the deal made, man. Let's do this, let's do that. Why would I make the deal with you? This cool, man. Numbers look good and everything like that, but I'm gonna have to rerun these numbers 2.5, 3 years. Regardless, you're not in there anymore. You ain't got to rerun those numbers with Putin. Let's make the deal. Let's keep it going. Boom. It's there. None of them going anywhere.
What Trump can do is operate America as a democracy and do his best to be the president, but not wait a minute, not try to run it like a dictator and then complain when judges stop things he wants to do. The country's not made like that.
Yeah. You see they took his name off of the Kennedy Center?
Yeah, and they left that tarp up.
I was like, I'm shocked he didn't file a motion or put an executive order to stop the judge's order. They put that scaffold up quick.
He can't really do that though. I'm saying he has some power. He's sort of abusing his power, but once those judges, because we live in a democracy, once those judges rule, just like those districts, the Supreme Court said redesign those districts because we can't have these black pockets. We can't have it. It came from the Supreme Court, so guess what? They changed them up. When you take a look at Trump, he can't really do that. Once them judges get on him, he got to change it. He got to get the money back. The tariffs, got to give it back.
Got to give it back, man. I got an email the other day saying if I purchase something from this time frame to this time frame, this is how I can go about getting refunded any tariff costs to me, yada yada yada. So I was like, let me read through the rest of it. But yeah, got a few of those emails the other day from things like UPS. I think FedEx sent one. Somebody else sent one. But yeah, they came through last week. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. Just interesting. All together, man. It's just interesting.
Yeah, well, I asked the people to come up if they believe Derek Chauvin was innocent, and nobody hit the link. See, a lot of this stuff they're just saying. They don't believe this stuff.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
And they're going after Cardi and the people who say free Carmelo. That's just hatred. Because why can't they say that? He's going through an appeal process. They look at him as they take a look at him and say they don't believe he's guilty. Yeah, but people get mad and say you can't say that. It's all over social media. That's going after people.
Yeah, it's a firestorm, man. It's a firestorm. Man. Definitely not healthy. It's not healthy all around, man. It's not healthy for people to not, think it through. It's not healthy for people to, just be emotionally driven. It's
Mm.
not healthy.
It's not.
The
It-
outcomes are rarely in favor of for anybody when it's such high emotions involved in anything. It's rarely favorable.
well, equal treatment though, man. It's black people saying they're not getting equal treatment. They haven't been getting it, and the rules change. The rules change for blacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Appellate now to appeal. Um, that's disrespectful. It's like you got to take the verdict. They're trying to get Derek Chauvin out, and
Yeah.
I think he's coming out.
I wouldn't be surprised at the end of his term, whenever the term coming up, and I would not be surprised. But was it a federal case or a state?
It was both.
Both. So yeah,
He was
I
found
would be I,
guilty.
would- I wouldn't be surprised, man.
He can't. He can't be free. He could be let out of federal. He's in a federal prison. That's for his protection. But if Trump pardons him, he'll have to leave that and go to
Go to a state.
yeah, state prison.
Oh, yeah. But it's just interesting, man. When you see certain things, man, it made me think about like what Colin Kaepernick went through. Right, he was kneeling for police brutality and injustice, and oh man, he un-American, and that's he's not a patriot. He doesn't care. He's this. He's that. Every slur under the word, known to a black man, he was called. And then you fast forward, and then January 6th happened. And then when you say, man, they're not patriots, man. They're trying to tear down democracy, and they're trying to, oh no, we're fighting for our freedoms by January 6th. Really? Really?
Mm.
That's what you were doing? Interesting. It's an interesting take. Because you saw a football player kneel, right? To say, man, I just want equal treatment, for my people. That's it. The same January 6 people that called them all type of names, all of this under the sun, right? Even Trump himself, right? Called him out. January 6th. You fast forward, January 6th, probably some of the same people that spoke down on Colin Kaepernick, called him un-American, not a patriot. What does he know about this country? My family fought and died for the country. All of those things, right? And January 6th happens, and it's like, no, no, we're fighting for the country. We're fighting for democracy. But this
Mhm.
is patriot. I'm a patriot. I have a right to do this. But he didn't have a right to kneel in a private organization. NFL is private. Private organization. He didn't have a right to kneel in that private organization. It cut people that deep that he was kneeling. But they
Looks
can
like
go tear up the streets of Washington, go to the Congress building, tear it down, smear poop everywhere, take lives, burn flags, all of that stuff. They patriots. I'm a patriot. I'm doing this for my freedom, doing it for democracy. I was like, man, these people crazy, man.
well,
Crazy.
JR, we're gonna let you have the last word, man. We wanted to get into it, put it out there. Cardi B under siege, and I'm gonna take a look how this affects her. And others are gonna be watching too. They're afraid. They're not gonna come forward. They're gonna have their car shows and their flea market LeBron James outfits. That's all they care about.
What is you with the flea market Jordan and LeBron James shorts, man? You saw one guy in the flea market
Guys
shorts
like that all the time.
a few weeks ago. You ain't letting that go.
See that all the time. Them oversized shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it wasn't funny in the video, but the guy did have them on. So it was like, man, what are we doing? But yeah, man, all I would say, man, is for people, man, look, love thy neighbor, man. Love thy neighbor like you would love yourself. Treat people with respect and humility. That's it, man. And have the uncomfortable conversations, man. Yeah, I'm like you, play. I wish somebody would have pulled up, to have the uncomfortable conversation,
Yeah,
be men or be women, be respectful,
they're gonna do that.
address each other in a respectful manner. But yeah, the uncomfortable conversations, it's healthy dialogue and it needs to occur, man. But that's what I would tell people, man. Love thy neighbor, man, and treat thy neighbor like you would want yourself to be treated, man.
Yeah, Jolene says always been like that. The rules changed for Black Americans. You're right, and we're gonna try to do everything we can to get that, draw attention to that. And I'm upset, and I don't know what might happen. Maybe it happened while I was online, or maybe tomorrow it'll happen. I'm upset. Cardi B is the only person speaking her thoughts about this case. That's wrong, man. I mean, and it's so unfair.
Yeah, it's sad, man. One of these rappers will probably put it in a lyric or something like that.
Okay.
It'd be 6 months from now, and somebody, Breakfast Club or Power 105, they'll be doing a deep dive on it, and you see the lyric that, that'd probably be the extent of their participation in the whole thing.
Gotcha.
At least from a public standpoint. Privately, who knows? They could be donating $100,000. Who knows? But publicly, they're not touching it with a 10-foot pole, Plat.
Got you. We got you. And we are out. Like the stream, man. Support the platform. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Super Chat. We're trying to learn. We're just trying to learn.